Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Outstanding. Okay,
I'm Gina.
good. I'm Ethan. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Just getting all set up. I like to have like the script and the Zoom on one screen so it doesn't look like I'm looking longingly off into the distance.
Yep, I do the exact same thing. On that note, and there they both are. Ah, all right.
So ensemble, does that mean you're doing like all of the couples and the interstitials?
Yeah, I'm doing all, pretty much all documentary husbands except for Joe. So
Awesome.
I get to play documentary husbands and the slob. So, but that's okay. That is
This movie is
okay.
so great. Are there no bad parts in this movie?
Oh, I agree. Yeah, we did a Christmas movie marathon this past year. It seemed appropriate with COVID, and despite the fact that it's not exactly a Christmas movie, I mean it's definitely a holiday movie. So
Hmm.
we threw When Harry Met Sally into the mix, and it was a hoot. And my 17-year-old, she had actually never seen it before, so
Oh
that
wow.
was
Like
yeah,
first of all, it's shocking that you have a 17-year-old kid. You don't look old enough. but
right
but
on.
yeah, like a 17-year-old, like yeah, this was teenage years, the standard for romantic comedies. But I don't think my siblings are young too, and I don't think they've seen it. How do you know the group? I don't think I've seen you on one of these before.
No, this is actually my first one with Sequestered Thespians. My fiance recommended it to me. I guess there are a number of those, Zoom table reading groups out there in Facebook, and she just recommended this one, and I saw When Harry Met Sally, and I mean, it's just such an amazing, wonderful comedy. I mean, it's the rom com. So yeah, I just decided to give it a look see, and yeah, this has been.
Welcome.
Thank you, thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm in this group, and I'm in this one called Can't Stop the Theater, and I got to know both through friends. And they do a lot, so I don't do a lot of them. But when my favorite movies come around, I got to do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I saw that Sequestered Thespians is doing Reservoir Dogs in
Oh,
May,
yes,
so yeah, putting my head in the ring for that one for sure. So,
definitely. I was trying before I found out I had a conflict and couldn't do it. I was trying to figure out who I'd want to be because again, there's like so many good parts.
mm,
I mean, obviously the Tim Roth part is like maybe the part, but it'd be
sure.
really fun to be the Steve Buscemi part too.
Mr. Pink is great because I mean, you know, he's one of the. I mean, you can tell of the group of thieves, he's one of the youngest,
Yeah.
and yet he seems to have it together more than anybody because he's the
Mm-hmm.
one who first realizes this isn't right. We were set up, you know.
Yep.
So
The
yeah.
smartest idiot criminal of the bunch.
So where are you?
I'm personally in Portland. I know most of the people in this group from when I was living. I basically used the pandemic as an excuse to move up here. I've always wanted to live here. But I did like Rocky Horror and theater with some of these people in LA when I lived there.
Nice, nice, nice.
But yeah, my husband and I are working from home full time. So we're like, we could move and not have to find new jobs. We should do that.
Yeah, I got really lucky. I actually not only did I change jobs during the pandemic, I got a much better job during the pandemic. Yeah, and the crazy thing is, I mean, I've been working remotely the entire time I've been at my current job, and I've communicated with my fellow employees through Zoom and through Jabber and all that, but I've only ever met one of them face to face since I've been hired, and that was when I had to take my daughter to get her checking account. So it
Yeah,
was
at my
just
job, we've hired two people, and that I've never like. One of them I knew, but the other one is brand new. I'm having to train him completely on Zoom. It's really weird. Do you
right.
feel though like you're part of your company's culture and stuff, or is it you feel like an outsider?
It's extremely inclusive, and the way that they structured the training regimen was just fantastic. I mean, there's a bunch of support, tons of resources. It's great. So
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Nina. Hello, gorgeous people.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
I'll turn on my camera in a second. I just have to make sure I don't look too horrifying.
Impossible.
Oh, don't even.
Also, your version of horrifying is like.
Oh, stop.
Right? That's like me on my best day. Is
Saying, just
that's
saying.
horrifying.
One person's horrifying is another person's fabulous, right?
My alarm that I'm supposed to be feeding my cat is going off. I'll be back.
I like that philosophy.
I'll make Alex feed my cat.
It actually, I was just watching, and Beth, you'll appreciate this. I was just before bed because I was wound up at 4 a.m. last night. I put on the Fairy Tale Theater Dancing Princesses episode. And he spends the whole time saying, one man's blank is another man's blank. Like, that's his whole thing the whole time. It's real cute, real cute. Leslie Ann Warren, real cute. I love your wig, Gina.
It's
I
excellent.
got a new one today for a super secret project.
I'm excited.
Your secret project.
Super secret. Well, you know about it, but I'm not allowed to
Hi,
talk
Jack.
about it to the general public.
Motherfucker. One-eyed Jack.
Hello.
Buddy.
Please don't claw my.
Hi, Lindsay. How you doing, sweetheart?
I love Jackie.
Looks like a blur.
He's a baby boy.
I was muted.
I
Doesn't.
was like, I can see you, but I cannot hear you.
No, I was muted.
Okay, who the
You
hell
know, you
are
look
we?
fabulous.
Joel, it's okay.
I'm
Dream.
excited. You get to play my best friend.
I know, right? Like, ooh, I get to be Carrie.
Feels
Oh,
right.
I watched it recently to like sort of prep for this, and she's so fabulous. Like even though she's saying the stupidest shit, like she says that you're right, I know you're right line so many times, but like she makes it good.
It's Carrie. There's like, I mean,
Yeah. I like it. I have said, you're right. I know you're right. Over many, many times in my life based on that.
I didn't realize how much I get from this. I say the pepper in your paprikash thing all the
Yeah.
time.
Same.
When people don't call me back, I'm like, are you trapped under something heavy?
Yep. Okay, who else?
oh, that's not me. Sorry.
What's not you?
Nothing. I was talking to myself.
Every.
I copy pasted more than my roles, and I was like, what's that name? That is someone else's name, is what that is.
Blah blah blah.
Joel is playing Jess, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
We are missing
Jolie.
Gabriel.
Hey, kids.
Hey, no, we're not.
Oh my god.
Hi.
If my internet decides to be an asshole again,
How are ya?
I'm gonna murder someone.
Not it.
None of you. You're all safe.
Has it been happening the other weeks?
Oh my
Last
God.
night,
last
it
night.
happened 3 times. We were doing karaoke. I was totally fine the whole time. Everyone's performances were seamless and beautiful. Then it got to my turn. And 3 separate times my internet crapped out so bad that I got bumped out of the Zoom room and I had to like restart my modem, restart my computer, do the whole thing. It was
And the song
I had to like record a video today and send it to everyone because I literally never got through more than like a verse.
Sadie was very frustrated, but the third time it happened, it had to have been like the funniest thing. Because we're like, third time's a charm. Because we had been like, oh.
And by then I just wanted to like crawl in a hole and die. And then it happened again and I was like,
Rude. And like 10 minutes later, she would come back and start again. And yeah, it became a comedy of errors.
yeah.
And
I don't know if this is true for others, but tonight, Beth, you sound really kind of faint and distant for me.
Yeah, same.
A little bit.
oh, probably my microphone is probably unplugged. Hold on. I'm like, yeah, it looks like it. Was that it? Hold on. Does it still sound like that?
Yeah, same.
Better.
Wait.
A little bit better though.
Blah blah
Is it-
blah. Does it still sound like?
Check your sound input.
because I had it turned down last night because of bullshit.
Oh.
Hold on. Blah blah blah. Audio. Oh, why are you doing that? You
Oh,
dumbass?
it got better for a sec.
It got better.
How is this?
Much better.
That's
better.
good.
Yeah, that's my real microphone, you stupid Zoom. Dumbass Zoom. Okay, cool. Joel said he's getting costumes together
Oh
and
boy.
that we can start. So
I love Joel a lot. Joel is one of my favorite like pandemic friends.
He
Like,
really goes. I've seen a lot of people
Y'all
go
don't
all
even
out with
know.
that.
Because the best shit he's done at in the karaoke group, and it's like mind blowing.
floor show, like the Rocky Horror floor show song, and she did costume changes and like got up and did the dances for everything, and it was like, what's happening?
Like, and I've done 2 characters in that because there was an issue and shit happens.
what?
That was hard enough. I cannot imagine doing all 4 with costume changes. That's crazy.
Wow.
Or all 5. He did Frank too. He did all of them.
It was insane.
Yeah, my favorite.
I think we should start. What do y'all think?
Well, when is his first character?
It's
Is it Jess? Is
yeah,
that his
well,
first?
let me see.
That's
Oh,
like
if you
thir-
just guys, we have time.
His first character is page 34.
Okay, so
Good then.
we got a
No.
while.
I think we'll be okay. Okay, let's do it. Is it recording? Yes. Okay, cool. When Harry Met Sally, original screenplay by Nora Ephron, Rob Reiner, and Andrew Scheinman. Fade in on documentary footage of an older couple, a man and a woman. They're sitting together on a love seat, looking straight at the camera. Documentary dialogue is only an indication they'll be telling the real stories. Okay, anyway. Go.
I was sitting with my friend Arthur Kornblum in a restaurant. It was a Horn and Hearted cafeteria. They don't have them anymore. And this girl walked in, and I turned to Arthur and I said, "Arthur, you see that girl? I'm going to marry her." And 2 weeks later, we were married. And it's 50 years later, and we're still married.
Exterior University of Chicago campus day, 10 years ago, a couple in a clinch. The young man involved is named Harry Burns. He's 26 years old, just graduated from law school, wearing jeans and a sweatshirt. He's kissing a young woman named Amanda. She has long, straight hair that she irons. She's about 20. The embrace is fairly melodramatic. They pull back to look at one another.
I love you.
I love you.
They begin to kiss again.
Ah.
A car pulls up right beside them. Stops, sits there. Driving the car is Sally Albright. She's 21 years old. She's very pretty, although not necessarily in an obvious way. She sits there waiting for the kiss to end. It doesn't end. She clears her throat. She shifts position and accidentally on purpose hits the car horn, which beeps and startles Amanda and Harry into breaking off their clinch. Amanda sees Sally and she and Harry move over to the car.
Oh, hi, Sally. Sally, this is Harry Burns. Harry, this is Sally Albright.
Nice to meet you.
They shake hands.
You want to drive the first shift?
No, you're there already. You can start.
Harry looks meaningfully at Amanda. Then he starts to put his stuff, a duffel bag, a box of records, into the backseat of the car where Sally's stuff is too. Suitcases, stereo speakers, a guitar, boxes of books.
And a small TV. Call me.
I'll call as soon as I get there.
Call me from the road.
I'll call before that.
Harry and Amanda exchange longing looks outside the car.
I love you.
I love you too.
They kiss again. Sally sits waiting. She hits the car horn again. Harry and Amanda break apart.
Sorry.
Harry gets into the car, and as it pulls away, he and Amanda exchange more I love yous and I'll call yous and goodbye. Exterior Chicago street day as the car heads toward whichever highway is relevant. City traffic, Sally driving, Harry in the passenger seat. Interior car day, Harry takes out a bunch of grapes and starts to eat them.
I have this all figured out. It's an 18-hour trip, which breaks down to 6 shifts, 3 hours each. Or alternatively, we could break it down by mileage. There's a map on the visor. I've marked it to show the locations where we can change shifts. You can do 3 hours?
Grape?
No, I don't like to eat between meals.
Harry spits a grape seed out the window, which doesn't happen to be down.
I'll roll down the window.
After a lengthy silence,
I hope this isn't going to be one of those trips with a lot of long, awkward silences.
Me too.
a long, awkward silence.
Why don't you tell me the story of your life?
The story of my life?
We've got 18 hours to kill before we get to New York.
Story of my life isn't even gonna get us out of Chicago. I mean, nothing's happened to me yet. That's why I'm going to New York.
So something can happen to you.
Yes.
Like what?
Like I'm going to journalism school and become a reporter.
So you can write about things that happen to other people.
That's one way to look at it.
Suppose nothing happens to you. Suppose you live there your whole life and nothing happens and you never meet anyone and you never become anything. And finally you die one of those New York deaths where nobody even notices for 2 weeks until the smell drifts out into the hallway.
Sally looks over at Harry. Who am I stuck in this car with? She looks back at the road. Exterior car, traveling shot day as the car turns onto the highway.
Amanda mentioned you had a dark side.
That's what drew her to me.
Your dark side?
Yeah. Why, don't you have a dark side? No, you're probably one of those cheerful people who dots her eyes with little hearts.
I have just as much of a dark side as the next person.
Oh, really? When I get a new book, I read the last page first. That way, if I die before I finish, I know how it comes out. That, my friend, is a dark side.
It doesn't mean you're deep or anything. I mean, I'm basically a happy person.
So am I.
And I don't see that there's anything wrong with that.
Of course you don't. You're too busy being happy. Do you think about death?
Yes.
Sure you do. A fleeting thought that drifts in and out of the transom of your mind. I spend hours. I spend days.
And you think this makes you a better person?
Look, when the shit comes down, I am going to be prepared and you are not. That's all I'm saying.
In the meantime, you're going to ruin your whole life waiting for it. What are you going to do in New York?
I don't know. I just graduated from law school, but I never really thought I was going to be a lawyer. I see it as a jumping off point.
You should be a lawyer, the kind that does wills. I think you'd be really good at explaining to people that they're going to die.
On Harry's reaction. Exterior car day, the car tooling along a beautiful stretch of highway. Exterior highway day 6, never mind. I thought it said 6 a.m. That was weird. The car pulls off the road onto the shoulder. Sally and Harry get out and switch seats. Harry drives now and the car pulls away, leaving rubber and dust. Exterior car exiting, magic hour, late afternoon. The car is now on a surface road, heading towards a motel diner complex. Harry's driving. Sally's in the passenger seat.
He doesn't want her to stay. That's why he puts her on the plate.
I don't think she wants to stay.
Of course she wants to stay. Wouldn't you rather be with Humphrey Bogart than that other guy?
I don't want to spend the rest of my life in Casablanca married to a man who runs a bar. That probably sounds very snobbish to you, but I don't.
You'd rather have a passionless marriage
And be first lady of Czechoslovakia.
than live with the man you've had the greatest sex of your life with, just because he owns a bar and that's all that he does.
The car stops in front of the diner, which is straight out of the 50s.
Yes, and so would any woman in her right mind. Women are very practical. Even Ingrid Bergman, which is why she gets on the plane at the end of the movie.
Oh, I understand.
What?
Nothing.
Harry crosses toward the diner. Sally follows after him.
What?
As Harry and Sally come in the door, a hostess is waiting.
Obviously, you haven't had great sex yet. Table for 2.
Right this way.
Yes, I have.
No, you haven't.
He crosses away from her towards the table.
It just so happens that I have had plenty of good sex.
This doesn't go unheard by the hostess and other diners. Sally walks to the table, sits down.
With whom?
What?
Have you had this good sex?
I'm not going to tell you that.
Fine, don't tell me.
A long silence. Maybe they both look at the menu. Maybe they just sit there.
Shell Gordon.
Shell. Sheldon? No, I'm sorry. You didn't have great sex with Sheldon.
I did too.
No, a Sheldon can do your taxes. If you need a root canal, he's your man. But between the sheets is not Sheldon's strong suit. I love you, Sheldon. Do it to me, Sheldon. I can't get enough of you, Sheldon. It doesn't work.
A waitress approaches the table.
What can I get you?
I'll have the number 3.
What kind of bread do you want on that on?
Surprise me.
Waitress turns to Sally.
You know what I'd like is the apple pie a la mode,
Apple a la mode.
but I'd like the pie heated and I don't want the ice cream on top. I want it on the side. And I'd like strawberry instead of vanilla if you have it. If not, then no ice cream, just whipped cream, but only if it's real. If it's out of a can, then nothing.
Not even the pie?
No, then just the pie, but not heated.
As the waitress leaves, Harry stares in disbelief at Sally.
What?
Nothing. So how come you broke up with Sheldon?
How do you know we broke up?
Because if you didn't, you wouldn't be with me. You'd be with Sheldon, the Wonderschlong.
Well, first of all, I'm not with you. Second of all, it's none of your business why we broke up.
You're right. You're right. I don't want to know.
If you must know, it was because he's very jealous and I had these days of the week underpants.
Bzz. Judge's ruling on this. Days of the week underpants.
Yes, they had the days of the week on them and I thought they were sort of funny. And one day he said to me, "You never wear Sunday." He got all suspicious. Where was Sunday? Where had I left Sunday? And I told him, but he didn't believe me.
What?
They don't make Sunday
Why not?
because of God.
And that's what broke you up?
Yes,
How many men have you slept with?
I'm not going to tell you that.
Okay, don't tell me.
2.
You've been with 2 people, and you're telling me based on 2 people, you know whether or not you've had great sex?
How many have you?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know.
Is it between 0 and 3, 4 and 10, or 10 and 100?
10 and 100.
Is it closer to 10 or closer to 100?
10.
The waitress brings their food. As they eat, exterior diner night reestablish. Diner dusk, they're finishing their meal. The check arrives. Sally figures out her portion of the bill. She notices Harry just staring at her.
What do I have something?
You're a very attractive person.
Oh, thank you.
Amanda never said you were so attractive.
Maybe she doesn't think I'm attractive.
It's not a matter of opinion. Empirically, you are attractive.
Harry, Amanda is my friend.
Sally gets up, drops some money on the table, and crosses away. Harry also leaves some money and follows her.
So
So you're going with her.
So
You're coming on to me.
no, I wasn't. What? Can't a man say a woman is attractive without it being a come on?
She stares at him, then exits the diner and heads for the car.
All right. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, it was a come on. Okay. What do you want me to do? I take it back. All right. I take it back.
You can't take it back.
Why not?
It's already out there.
Oh, geez. What are we supposed to do now? Call the cops. It's already out there.
Just let it lie, okay?
She quickly gets in the car and unlocks his door. He gets in the car.
Right. Let it lie. That's my policy. Let it lie. So you want to spend the night in the motel? See what I did? I didn't let it lie.
Harry,
I said I would, and then I did.
Harry,
I went the other way.
Harry,
Yes.
we are just going to be friends, okay?
Yeah, great. Friends. Best thing.
As the car starts up and pulls out, interior car night, a long silence.
You realize, of course, that we can never be friends.
What do you mean?
What I'm saying, and this is not a come on in any way, shape, or form, is that men and women can't be friends. The sex part always gets in the way.
That's not true. I have a number of men friends and there's no sex involved.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You only think you do.
Are you saying I have sex with these men without my knowledge?
No, I'm saying they all want to have sex with you.
They do not.
They do too.
Do not.
Do too.
How do you know?
Because no man can be friends with a woman he finds attractive. He always wants to have sex with her.
Okay, so you're saying a man can be friends with a woman that he finds unattractive.
No, you pretty much want to have sex with them too.
What if they don't want to have sex with you?
It doesn't matter. The sex thing is already out there. So the friendship is ultimately doomed, and that's the end of the story.
Well, I guess we're not going to be friends then.
I guess not.
It's too bad. You were the only person I knew in New York.
Dissolved to exterior New York skyline dawn as the car comes over the George Washington Bridge. A gorgeous day. Exterior New York street corner day, downtown near Washington Square. The car pulls up and hops out, grabbing his stuff.
Well, it was nice knowing you.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah. Thanks for the ride.
You're welcome.
Sally nods. Harry nods. An awkward moment. Sally holds out her hand. They shake.
Well, have a nice life.
You too.
Harry starts to walk off as she drives off. Fade out. Fade in documentary footage. Another older couple sitting together on the same love seat we saw earlier.
We fell madly in love in high school.
We were high school sweethearts.
I just said that. Didn't I just say that? But after our junior year, his parents moved away.
But I never forgot her.
He never forgot me.
Her face burned itself on my brain. 34 years later, I see her coming out of Tofenenni's.
We looked at each other, and it was as if not one day had gone by.
She looked as beautiful as when she was 16 years old.
He looked the same. He looked exactly the same to me.
And we haven't been apart one day since then.
Not one day.
Oh, sorry I had a coughing fit during that. I turned off my video instead of my sound, but it was beautiful. Fade in. Interior LaGuardia Airport dates. 5 years later, a couple in a clinch. The woman is Sally at 26. She looks great. She's a stylish young woman. She's kissing a very attractive man with a beard, although it's not that easy to see him at the moment. His name is Joe. Harry's coming down the hallway of the airline terminal. He's wearing a suit and tie and trench coat. And he has a kind of attractive but rumpled demeanor. He notices the couple kissing, goes past them, then stops, backs up. He recognizes them. They're still kissing. Harry comes closer, peers at the two of them from slightly too close. It's not easy to see either of their faces. Finally, Sally and Joe become aware that someone is standing nearby and they stop kissing to look at Harry.
Joe? I thought it was you. Harry Burns.
Harry, how are you?
How you doing?
Joe holds out his
Fine.
hand. They shake.
Well, good. I thought it was you. Still with the DA's office?
I switched to the other side. What about you?
I'm working for a small company, political consulting.
Joe nods. Harry nods. An awkward pause. Sally just standing there wondering if Harry remembers her.
Oh, Harry, this is Sally Albright. Harry Burns. We used to live in the same building.
Hi. Well,
Sally nods.
great to see you. See you around.
Harry starts down the long corridor for his plane. Joe and Sally look at each other.
Thank God he couldn't place me. I drove from college to New York with him 5 years ago. It was the longest night of my life.
What happened?
He made a pass at me, and when I said no, he was going with a friend of mine. Oh God, I can't remember her name. Don't get involved with me, Joe. I am 26 years old and I can't even remember the name of the person I was such good friends with. I wouldn't get involved with her boyfriend.
So what happened?
When?
When he made a pass at you and you said no?
Oh, I said, we can just be friends. This part I remember. He said, men and women couldn't really be friends.
Joe kisses her again.
Do you think that's true?
No.
Do you have any women friends? Just friends?
No. But I will get one if it's important to you.
Amanda Reese. That was her name. Thank God.
Another kiss.
I'll miss you. I love you.
You do?
Yes.
I love you too.
Interior airplane day. The plane is in flight en route from New York to Washington. Sally's in the middle seat in a crowded all-coach plane. Ugh. She has the New York Times on her lap, but she's staring into the middle distance, a little smile on her face. There's a man on the aisle next to her, and the row in back of her in the aisle seat is Harry. His head pops up. Sally starts to read the newspaper. The man on the aisle looks up at Harry, who's still looming over them, trying to place Sally. Harry pops down. Sally starts to read again. Harry pops up again, pops back down. The stewardess comes down the aisle with a drink cart, asks Sally for her drink order.
Do you have Bloody Mary mix?
Yes.
She starts to pour.
No, wait, here's what I want. Regular tomato juice, not too much ice, and fill it up about 3/4, and then add a splash of the Bloody Mary mix, just a splash.
Harry's head starts to rise again.
And a little piece of lime, but on the side.
The University of Chicago, right?
Yes.
Harry pops down. He pops right back up.
Did you look this good at the University of Chicago?
No.
Did we ever?
No, Jesus. We drove from Chicago to New York the day after graduation.
The man on the aisle has been listening and watching all of this. Would you two like to sit together?
Oh, that's okay. No.
Great.
Before Sally can object. Harry and the man on the aisle change seats, and Harry sits down next to Sally.
You are a friend of, oh, geez.
He can't remember her name.
Amanda's. I can't believe you don't remember her name.
What do you mean? I can remember. Amanda, right? Amanda Rice.
Reese.
Reese, right. That's what I said. Whatever happened to her?
I have no idea.
You have no idea? You were a good friend of hers. We didn't make it because you were such good friends.
You went with her.
Was it worth it? This sacrifice for a friend you haven't even kept in touch with?
Harry, you may not believe this, but I never considered not sleeping with you a sacrifice.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You were going to be a gymnast.
A journalist.
That's what I said. So did you?
I'm a journalist. I work at the news.
Oh, great. And you're with Joe. That's great. You guys have been together, what, 3 weeks?
A month. How did you know that?
You take someone to the airport, it's clearly the beginning of the relationship. That's why I have never taken anyone to the airport at the beginning of a relationship.
Why?
Because eventually things move on and you don't take someone to the airport. And I never wanted anyone to be able to say to me, how come you never take me to the airport anymore?
It's amazing. You look like a normal person, but actually you're the angel of death.
Are you going to marry him?
We've only known each other a month. Besides, neither of us is looking to get married right now.
I'm getting married.
You are?
Yep.
You are?
Yep.
Who is she?
Helen Hilson. She's a lawyer. She's keeping her name.
You're getting married.
What's so funny about it?
Well, it's just so optimistic of you.
You'd be amazed what falling madly in love can do for you.
Well, that's wonderful, Harry. It's nice to see you embracing life in this manner.
Besides, you just get to a certain point where you get tired of the whole thing.
What whole thing?
The whole life of a single guy thing. You meet someone, you have the safe lunch where you decide you like each other enough to move on to dinner, you go dancing, you do the white man's overbite. Then you go back to her place, you have sex, and the minute you finish, you know what goes through your head? How long do I have to lie here and hold her before I can get up and go home? Is 30 seconds enough?
That's what you're thinking? Is that true?
Yeah, all men think that. How long do you like to be held afterwards? All night, right? That's the problem. Somewhere between 30 seconds and all night is your problem.
I don't have a problem.
Yes, you do.
The flight attendant announces that everyone should fasten seatbelts in preparation for landing in Washington, D.C. Exterior National Airport Day as the plane lands. Harry and Sally are on a moving sidewalk.
You staying over?
Yes.
Would you like to have dinner?
Sally looks at him a little suspiciously.
What? Just friends.
I thought you didn't believe men and women could be friends.
When did I say that?
On the ride to New York.
No, I remember. Yes, that's right. They can't be friends. Unless both of them are involved with other people. Then they can. This is an amendment to the earlier rule. If the two people are in relationships, the pressure of possible involvement is lifted. Although that doesn't work either, because what happens is the person you're involved with doesn't understand why you need to be friends with the person you're friends with. Like it must mean something's missing from your relationship and you have to go outside to get it. And when you say, no, 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 it's not true, there's nothing missing from our relationship, the person you're involved with accuses you of being secretly attracted to the person you're just friends with, which you probably are. Let's face it, who the hell are we kidding? Which brings us back to the original rule before the amendment, which is men and women can't be friends. So where does that leave us?
Harry,
Yes, Sally.
goodbye.
Okay.
They look at each other and shake hands. Though they have said goodbye, they are now in that awkward place of still going in the same direction. After a beat,
I'm going to stop walking for a minute and let you get ahead.
fade out, fade in. Documentary footage. Another older couple sitting on the love seat looking at the camera.
We got married 50 years ago. We were married 3 years. We got a divorce.
No one got divorced then unless you were miserable. Not like now. You get a little upset, you get a divorce.
So then I married Marjorie.
But first you lived with Barbara.
Right, Barbara. But I didn't marry Barbara. I married Marjorie. And then I got a divorce. My brother's lawyer, I got a ring. Then I married Katie.
The shortest one of all.
Less than a year. Another divorce. So then I was single. I crammed in a lot of living. I got to get it out of my system.
Don't forget Roberta.
Roberta.
And then we got married again.
45 years to the day after our first marriage.
But I never married anybody in between. I waited. I knew.
Aww. Fade out, fade in. Exterior New York street days. 5 years later, Sally walking down the street to a restaurant like Petaluma. She looks even prettier now. She's wearing a loose blouse, full skirt, boots. Exterior New York restaurant with view. Day. 2 women, Marie and Alice, at a table for 3. Marie is a dark-haired, dark-eyed beauty. Alice is cute and plump, a married lady. Sally comes in and sits down as the others finish giving their drink order to the waiter.
Hey, sorry I'm late. Here's what I want. I want a Campari and soda, but here's how I want it. I want the Campari in a glass with ice and the soda on the side, but in a bottle. I don't want the soda in a glass. I want to mix it myself.
As Sally's ordering.
So I looked through his pockets, okay?
Marie, why do you look through his pockets?
Sally's done with her order now.
And you know what I found?
What?
They just bought a dining room table. He and his wife just went out and spent $1,600 on a dining room table.
Where?
The point isn't where, Alice. The point is he's never going to leave her.
So what else is new? You've known this for 2 years.
You're right. You're right. I know you're right.
Why can't you find someone single? When I was single, I knew lots of nice single men. There must be someone. Sally found someone.
Sally got the last good one.
Joe
Joe and I broke up.
What?
When?
Monday.
You waited 3 days to tell us?
You mean Joe's available?
For God's sake, Marie, don't you have any feelings about this? She's obviously upset.
I'm not that upset. We've been growing apart for quite a while.
But you were a couple. You were together. You had someone to go places with. You had a date on national holidays.
I just said to myself, you deserve more than this. You're 31 years old.
And the clock is
It's
ticking.
The clock doesn't really start to tick until you're 36.
God, you're in such great shape.
Well, I've had a few days to get used to it, and I feel okay.
Good. Then you're ready.
Marie takes her Rolodex out of her satchel and starts to look through it.
Really, Marie?
How else do you think you do it?
She flips through the Rolodex and pulls out a card.
I've got the perfect guy.
You go out with him.
I've got someone.
You've got someone else also has.
I don't happen to find him attractive, but you might. She doesn't have a problem with chins.
Marie, I'm not ready yet.
I thought you just said you were over him.
I am over him, but I am in a mourning period. Who is it?
Alex Anderson.
You fixed me up with him 6 years ago.
Okay. Ken Darman.
He's been married for over a year.
Really? Married?
Marie takes Ken Darman's Rolodex card and dog ears a corner of it and places it in a section at the back of the box. Then she pulls out another card.
Wait, I've got it. I got it.
Look, there's no point in my going out with someone I might really like if I met him at the right time, but who right now has no chance of being anything other than a transitional man.
Okay. But don't wait too long. Do you remember David Warsaw? His wife left him and everybody said, give him some time. Don't move in too fast. And 6 months later, he was dead.
What are you saying? That I should marry someone right away in case he's about to die?
At least you can say you were married.
I'm saying the right man for you might be out there right now, and if you don't grab him, someone else will. And you'll have to spend the rest of your life knowing that someone else is married to your husband.
Exterior Shea Stadium Day. A wave is in progress. It sweeps around the stadium and passes by Harry and his friend Jess sitting in the second deck, surrounded by Mets fans. It's fall and they're both wearing jeans and windbreakers. Harry is very despondent.
When did this happen?
Friday. Helen comes home. She says, I don't know if I want to be married anymore. You know, like it's the institution, like it's nothing personal, like it's just something she's thinking about in a kind of casual way. I'm calm. I say, why don't we think about it? Take some time. Don't rush into anything. Next day, she says she's thought about it. She wants a trial separation. She just wants to try it, she says. We can still date, she says, like this is supposed to cushion the blow. I mean, I got married so I could stop dating, so I don't see where we can still date is a big incentive, since as far as I'm concerned, the last thing you want to do is date your wife who's supposed to love you, which is what I'm saying to her when it crosses my mind, maybe she doesn't. So I say, don't you love me anymore? And you know what she says? I don't know if I've ever loved you.
A wave comes through the crowd and Harry and Jess stand and wave their hands.
Ooh, that's harsh.
They sit down.
You don't bounce back from that right away.
Thanks, Jess.
No, I'm a writer. I know dialogue. That's particularly harsh.
And then she says she just found out that somebody in her office is going to South America so she can sublet his apartment. I can't believe it. I can't believe this, I say. And the doorbell rings. I can sublet his apartment? The words are still in the air. The words are still hanging there like in a little balloon connected to her mouth.
Like a cartoon.
Yeah. And I get to the door and the movers are there. Now I'm starting to get suspicious and I say, when did you call these movers? She's not answering. I look at the movers and I say, when did this lady book you for this gig? And they're standing there, three huge guys, right? One of them is wearing a t-shirt that says, don't fuck with Mr. Zero. And I say, when did you make this arrangement? And she says, a week ago. And I say, you've known this for a whole week and you didn't tell me? And she says, I didn't want to ruin your birthday.
The second wave comes through and Harry and Jess stand and wave their hands.
You're saying Mr. Zero knew you were getting a divorce a week before you did?
Mr. Zero knew.
Jeez.
I haven't even told you the bad part.
What could be worse than Mr. Zero knowing?
It's all a lie. She's in love with another guy, some tax attorney. She moved in with him.
How did you find out?
I followed her and I stood outside the building.
Harry, that's so humiliating.
Tell me. Standing on the streets, the ultimate schmuck. I knew it would happen. The whole time I knew, even though we were happy, it was just an illusion. And one day she'd kick the shit out of me.
Marriages don't break up on account of infidelity. It's just a symptom that something else is wrong.
Oh, really? Well, that symptom is fucking my wife.
Another wave comes through and they stand up. They sit down.
At least you got the apartment.
Harry just looks at him.
What?
Interior Shakespeare & Co. Day. Sally and Marie standing in the bookstore in a section called personal relationships. A shelf full of books. Marie is looking at something like Smart Women, Foolish Choices. Sally's looking at something like Safe Sex and Dangerous Times.
So I just happened to see his American Express bill.
What do you mean you just happened to see it?
Well, he was shaving and there it was in his briefcase.
Marie, what if he came out and saw you looking through his briefcase?
You're missing the point. I'm telling you what I found. He spent $120 on a nightgown for his wife. I don't think he's ever going to leave her.
No one thinks he's ever going to leave her.
You're right. You're right. I know you're right.
Marie looks up for a moment for a new book, sees something.
Someone is staring at you in personal growth.
Sally glances over to the personal growth section. There's Harry.
I know him. You'd like him. He's married.
Who is he?
Harry Burns. He's a political consultant.
He's cute.
You think he's cute?
How do you know he's married?
Last time I saw him, he was getting married.
When was that?
6 years ago.
So he might not be married anymore.
Also, he's obnoxious.
This is just like in the movies. Remember, like in The Lady Vanishes, where she says to him, "You are the most obnoxious man I have ever met."
The most contemptible.
And then they fell madly in love.
Also, he never remembers me.
Sally Albright.
Hi, Harry.
I thought it was you.
It is. This is Marie. What was Marie?
Marie is exiting down the stairs. She waves. Sally turns back to Harry. She shrugs.
How you doing?
Fine.
Oh, fine. How's Joe?
Fine. I hear he's fine.
You're not with Joe anymore?
We just broke up.
Oh, gee, that's too bad.
Yeah. Well, you know. Yeah. What about you?
I'm fine.
How's married life?
Not so good. I'm getting a divorce.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. When did this happen?
A couple of weeks ago.
That's right. When Joe and I broke up.
Oh, isn't that amazing?
Not really. Everybody in New York breaks up this time of year.
Maybe it's the pressure of Halloween.
Yeah, you never know what to go as. What happened?
She left me. She fell in love with a tax attorney.
A Sheldon.
Sheldon. Oh, yeah. Right. Well, Ira, actually, but it's the same.
I'm sorry, Harry.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? What happened with you guys?
Sally and Harry having coffee or maybe a glass of wine.
When Joe and I started seeing each other, we wanted exactly the same thing. We wanted to live together, but we weren't going to get married because every time everyone we knew got married, ruined their relationship. They practically never had sex again. It's true. One of the secrets that no one ever tells you. I would sit around with my girlfriends who had kids. Well, actually, my one girlfriend who had kids, Alice, and she would complain about how she and Gary never did it anymore. You know, she didn't even complain about it. Now that I think about it, she just said it matter of factly. They were up all night. They were both exhausted all the time. The kids just took every sexual impulse they had right out of them. And Joe and I used to talk about it and say, we're so lucky. You know, we have this wonderful relationship and we can have sex on the kitchen floor and not worrying about the kid walking in. We can fly off to Rome at a moment's notice. And then one day I was taking Alice's little girl for the afternoon. I promised to take her to the circus. And we're in a cab and we're playing I Spy. You know, I spy a lamppost, I spy a mailbox. And she looked out a window and there was this man and this woman with two little kids. And the man had one of the kids, you know, on his shoulders. And Alice's little girl said, I spy a family. And I started to cry. You know, I just started crying and I went home and I said, the thing is, Joe, we never do fly off to Rome at a moment's notice.
What about the kitchen floor?
Not once. It's just this very cold, hard Mexican ceramic tile. Anyway, we talked about it for a long time and I said, this is what I want. And he said, well, I don't. And I said, I guess it's over. And he left. And the truth is, I feel really fine. I'm over him. I really am over him. That was it for him. That was the most he could give. And every time I think about it, I'm more and more convinced I did the right thing.
You sound really healthy.
Yeah.
Exterior 77th Street walk dusk. Harry and Sally walking together. The sun is setting.
At least I got the apartment.
Everyone says that to me too. But what's so hard about getting an apartment? You read the obituaries, you find out who died, you go see the doorman. They should put the two sections together, real estate and obituaries. Mr. Klein died today, leaving a wife, two children, and a spacious 3-bedroom apartment with a wood-burning fireplace.
Sally laughing, a nice moment.
When we first met, I really didn't like you that much.
I didn't like you.
You did too. You were just so uptight. Now you're much softer.
You know, I hate that kind of remark. I just hate it. It looks like a compliment, but really it's an insult, you know?
Okay, you're still hard as nails.
I just didn't want to sleep with you, so you had to write it off as a character flaw instead of dealing with the possibility that it might have something to do with you.
What's the statute of limitations on apologies?
10 years.
Ooh, I can get in just under the wire.
Sally smiles. Then after a beat, she makes the smallest of moves.
Would you like to have dinner with me sometime?
Are we becoming friends now?
Well, I guess we could.
A woman friend. This is amazing. You may be the first attractive woman I have not wanted to sleep with in my entire life.
That's wonderful, Harry.
As they continue to walk along, we fade out, fade into documentary footage, a series of quick cuts of different older couples, each of them sitting on a love seat and looking at the camera. First,
Wearing a white dress with little daisies on it.
He had a Borsalino hat.
Bright coat with black buttons.
A blue suit, he told me after it was the first suit he got from a real tailor.
In her hair, she had a white flower, a camellia.
fade out, fade in, a tight shot of one of those toy felt birds that somehow is able to miraculously keep dunking its beak into a glass of water. Wider to reveal Harry sitting in his office, staring blankly at this ornithological phenomenon. As Harry stares, we see the sound of a phone ringing. It is, or we hear the sound of a phone ringing. It is picked up by Sally.
Hello?
Sleeping?
No, I was watching Casablanca.
Oh, what channel?
11.
Got it.
As Harry continues to stare at the bird, we hear a few lines of dialogue from Casablanca, of all the gin joints, etc. As the Casablanca dialogue continues, we cut to Harry's apartment day. Harry's trying to hang a picture in what is an otherwise virtually empty apartment. He checks the picture for placement against the wall.
Now, you're telling me you'd be happier with Victor Laszlo than with Humphrey Bogart?
Holding his finger on the spot, he gently taps the nail into the wall.
When did I say that?
When we drove to New York.
I never said that. I would never have said that.
Harry gives the nail one more tap and a big chunk of plaster comes out of the wall. Harry surveys it, then decides to leave the picture against the wall on the floor. He walks away. Cut to interior Harry's apartment day. Harry's sitting in his one chair trying to read a book. He has a thermometer in his mouth. He can't concentrate. He keeps reading the same paragraph over and over. Finally, he flips to the last page and reads.
How have you been sleeping?
Not great. Maybe I'm coming down with something. Last night, I was up at 4 a.m. watching Leave It to Beaver in Spanish. Buenos dias, Señora Cleaver. ¿Dónde está Wallace y Theodore? I'm not well.
Cut to, throughout the following, we see a series of shots, a montage, showing Sally busily typing in her office, Sally shopping in Bloomingdale's, Sally tap dancing in a studio, Sally picking up groceries, Sally fixing dinner, chopping, setting table, being good to herself.
I went to bed at 7:30 last night. Haven't done that since the 3rd grade.
That's the good thing about depression. You get your rest.
I'm not depressed.
Okay, fine. Oh, put on 23. It's the nude talk show.
How can you watch that?
What? You don't find it interesting watching naked people discussing insider trading?
I guess my scope is limited. ESPN.
I'm there.
What's the deal with arena football?
What? It's good. If it catches on, there's no telling where it could lead. Arena golf, arena yachting.
Cut to exterior movie theater. Harry and Sally walking out of a movie theater and down the street. It is day.
Do you still sleep on the same side of the bed?
I did for a while, but now I'm pretty much using the whole bed.
Oh, God, that's great. I feel weird when just my leg wanders over. I miss her.
Cut to interior Chinese restaurant night. Sally's going through a very detailed ordering session. The waiter's trying to keep up. Harry just stares.
I don't miss him. I really don't.
Not even a little?
You know what I miss? I miss the idea of him.
Maybe I only miss the idea of Helen. No, I miss the whole Helen.
Cut to exterior street day. Harry and Sally are walking along. Sally spots a mailbox, stops, opens her purse, and pulls out a stack of mail. She proceeds to place the mail in the box, one letter at a time, checking to see that each letter has safely entered the box. Harry stands impatiently waiting.
I found this book. It gives you some really good tips on how to enjoy being alone.
Oh, like what?
Like never eat standing up. Make a nice meal for yourself and sit at a table.
Sounds good. As soon as I get a table, that is exactly what I'll do.
Harry's impatience with Sally's letter mailing has gotten the best of him. He impulsively grabs the remaining letters in her hand, opens the box, shoves them in, and then hustles her off.
Last scene.
And now, interior Sally's bedroom night. Sally in bed on the phone watching Casablanca on TV and talking to Harry in bed on the phone watching Casablanca. Cut back and forth, or you split screen.
Ingrid Bergman. Now she's low maintenance.
Low maintenance?
Yeah, there are two kinds of women, high maintenance and low maintenance.
And Ingrid Bergman is low maintenance.
An LM, definitely.
And which one am I?
The worst one. You're high maintenance, but you think you're low maintenance.
I don't see that.
You don't see that? I'll start with the house salad, but don't put the regular dressing on it. I'll have the balsamic vinegar and oil instead, but on the side. And then the salmon with mustard sauce, but I want the sauce on the side. On the side is like a very big thing with you.
Well, I just want it the way I want it.
Right. High maintenance.
Sally smiling. Bogart says, Louis, this could be the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Ooh, best last line of a movie ever.
As the movie ends.
I'm definitely coming down with something. Probably a 24-hour tumor. They're going around.
You don't have a tumor.
And how do you know?
You're so worried, go see a doctor.
No, he'll tell me it's nothing.
You gonna be able to sleep?
If not, I'll be okay.
What'll you do?
I'll stay up and moan. Wait, let me practice now.
Good night, Harry.
Good night, Sally.
As he continues to moan, they hang up. Fade out. Fade in. Exterior Lincoln Center day. Harry and Sally walking past a Henry Moore sculpture.
I dreamed I was making love, and the Olympic judges were watching, as usual. I nailed the compulsories. So this is it, the finale. I get a 9.8 from the Canadian. I get a perfect 10 from the American. And my mother, dressed as an East German, gives me a 5.6. Think there's any meaning to that?
Excuse me. Cut to exterior Central Park Arbor Day. Harry and Sally in the park on a gorgeous fall day. They're sharing a big pretzel.
Okay, so basically it's the same one I've had since I was 12.
What happens?
It's very embarrassing.
Don't tell me.
Okay, there's this guy.
What does he look like?
I don't know, he's sort of faceless.
A faceless guy. Okay, then what happens?
He rips off my clothes.
And then what?
That's it.
That's it? A faceless guy rips off your clothes? And that's the sex fantasy you've been having since you were 12? Exactly the same?
Well, sometimes I vary it a little.
Which part of it do you vary?
What I'm wearing?
Interior Metropolitan Museum dusk. Harry and Sally are walking through the Egyptian temple exhibit.
I have decided for the rest of the day, we are going to talk like this.
Like this?
Repeat after me.
Repeat after me.
Waiter, may I have some pepper?
May I have some pepper?
Pepper.
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 May I have some pepper on my paprikash?
May I have some pepper on my paprikash?
I think I'll have some tomato juice.
I think I'll have some tomato juice.
Do you want to go to a movie tonight?
Do you want to go to a movie tonight?
No. Please, not to repeat, to answer. Answer the question. Do you want to go to a movie tonight?
I'd love to, Harry, but I can't.
Oh, what do you have? A hot date?
Well, actually, yeah. As a matter of fact, I do.
Really?
I was gonna tell you, but I don't know. I felt strange about it.
Why?
I don't know. We've been spending so much time together.
Hey, it's fine with me. We're friends. I think it's great you have a date.
Are you sure?
Sure. Is that what you're wearing?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Why?
I think you should wear skirts more. You look good in skirts.
I do?
Yeah.
No, Harry, you should get out there too.
Oh, no. I'm not ready.
It's time.
No, I can't.
You should.
Maybe I will.
Cut to interior Harry's apartment day. Harry and Sally are unrolling a new rug.
It was the most uncomfortable night of my life.
Sorry. The first date back is always the toughest.
You only had one date. How do you know it won't get worse?
How much worse can it get than him finishing dinner, reaching across the table, pulling a hair out of my head and flossing with it at the table?
Hey, you're talking dream date compared to my horror.
Now the rug's gotta go this way.
Yeah, it started out fine. She was a very nice person, and we were just talking at this Ethiopian restaurant she wanted to go to. I was making some jokes like, I didn't know they had food in Ethiopia. This will be a quick meal. We'll order 2 empty plates and leave. Nothing, not even a smile. So I downshifted to small talk and I asked her where she went to school, and she says Michigan State. And it reminds me of Helen. And all of a sudden, I'm in the middle of this massive anxiety attack, and my heart's beating like a wild man, and I'm sweating like a pig.
Helen went to Michigan State?
No, she went to Northwestern, but they're both Big Ten schools. Ugh. I was so upset I had to leave the restaurant.
Harry, I think it takes a long time. It might be months before we're actually able to enjoy going out with someone new.
Yeah.
And maybe even longer before we'll be able to go to bed with someone new.
Well, I did go to bed with her.
You went to bed with her?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is this too green?
Interior batting cage in Queens, day. Harry and Jess with bats in hand as the machine waits for them to put in quarters.
I don't understand this relationship.
What do you mean?
You enjoy being with her.
Yes.
You find her attractive.
Yes.
And you're not sleeping with her?
No.
What are you afraid of? You're afraid to let yourself be happy.
Oh, come on. Why can't you give me credit for this? This is a big step for me, Jess. Having a relationship with a woman that doesn't involve sex. I've never been able to do this. I feel like I'm growing.
2 9-year-olds are waiting to use the batting cage and are watching Harry and Jess just stand there. Are you finished batting?
I got a whole pocket full of quarters and I was here first, okay?
You were not.
Was two.
Were not.
Was two. Little creep. Where was I?
You were growing.
Yes. It's very freeing. I can say anything to her.
Are you saying you can say things to her you can't say to me?
No, it's just different. It's a whole different perspective. I get a woman's point of view on things. She tells me about the men she goes out with, and I can talk to her about the women I see.
Do you tell her about other women?
Yeah. Like the other night, I made love to a woman, and it was so incredible. I took her to a place that wasn't human. She actually meowed.
You made a woman meow?
Yes. That's the point. I can say these things to her. And the great thing is I don't have to lie because I'm not always thinking about how to get her into bed. I can just be myself.
You made a woman meow?
Exterior Carnegie Deli day. Interior Carnegie Deli day. Harry?
Not Carnegie, Katz's. Sorry.
I know. The pecan pie thing was annoying too, but I couldn't remember where it went.
Katz's is a lot better.
I'm sorry that they didn't have the pecan pie.
Pecan pie.
Pecan pie. Also, there's too much pepper on my paprikash. I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember it.
Proud to partake of your pecan pie.
Sorry, I saw Carnegie and I was like, no, their sandwiches are garbage. Katz's is king.
Katz's Deli day.
Thank you for speaking up on this important issue.
They're each about to eat large pastrami sandwiches.
The best.
So what do you do with these women? You just get out of bed and leave?
Sure.
Well, explain to me how you do it. What do you say?
I have an early meeting or an early haircut or an early squash game.
You don't play squash.
They don't know that. They just met me.
That's disgusting.
I know. I feel terrible.
I'm so glad I never got involved with you. I would just have ended up being some lady you had to get up out of bed and leave at 3 a.m. and go clean your andirons. And you don't even have a fireplace. Not that I would know this.
Why are you getting so upset? This isn't about you.
Yes, it is. You are a human affront to all women, and I am a woman.
Look, I don't feel great about this, but I don't hear anyone complaining.
Of course not. You're out the door too fast.
I think they have an okay time.
How do you know?
What do you mean, how do I know? I know.
Because they...
Yeah, because they...
But yeah, how do you know that they're really...
What are you saying? They fake orgasm?
It's possible.
Get out of here.
Why? Most women at one time or another have faked it.
Yeah, well, they haven't faked it with me, okay?
But how do you know?
Because I know.
Oh, right. I forgot. You're a man.
Well, what's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. It's just that all men are so sure it never happens to them, and all women at one time or another have done it. You do the math.
You don't think I can tell the difference?
No.
Please, don't be ridiculous.
Ah.
Are you all right?
Mm. Oh. Oh. Oh God, yes. Oh. Oh yeah, right there. Ah. 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 Yes. Yeah. Oh God. Yes. Yes. Ah. 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 Mm. Ah. 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 Oh God.
Hold on, Harry, who is in shock. The rest of the customers and the waiters who couldn't help but overhear Sally's performance. I'll have what she's having. Yes. Okay. Fade in. Yes. Fade in. Exterior 96th Street. Christmas tree stand day. It's Christmas in New York. Sally and Harry, bundled up against the cold, are standing at the Christmas tree stand on the corner, trying to figure out which one to buy. Sally finally chooses one and pays for it. She and Harry pick it up together, one holding the top and the other the bottom, and start to carry it to Sally's together. Interior Sally's kitchen day. Sally has a pastry tube in her hands, and she's sitting at a table writing names on Christmas cookies with her friend Alice and Alice's 5-year-old daughter, Amy.
His name was Raymond Bradley. Don't even bother committing it to memory.
I love hearing about horrible dates. What happened?
He has an air collection. Let me have your hand.
Amy puts her hand out as if she were going to be manicured, and Sally decorates her nails with icing.
An air collection.
Yeah, he collects air. He has all these mason jars that are labeled. They commemorate important dates in history, like the March on Washington and the day the Mets won the World Series.
He was at these events?
Sally has finished manicuring Amy's nails and starts to write Harry's name on a Christmas cookie.
No, whenever something important happens, he just goes outside, opens up the mason jar, scoops up some air, caps it, and labels it.
I don't see why you don't get involved with your friend Harry.
Because that's just it. We're friends.
But if you could be more?
No, he's
what?
He's a mess.
Then why are you making a cookie for him?
He's a nice mess.
Interior New Year's Eve party night. We know it's New Year's Eve because people are wearing funny hats, and there's one of those mirrored things hanging from the ceiling and casting twinkle lights on a fairly large crowd of revelers in a large room somewhere in Manhattan. A band is playing. Harry and Sally are dancing. Harry dips her.
I really want to thank you for taking me out tonight.
Oh, forget it. And next year, if neither one of us is with somebody, you've got a date.
It's a deal.
They dance for a moment. He glances at Sally, and for a split second, we see the beginnings of something, an inkling, a little tender moment.
Do you want to get some air?
Yeah, if you do.
They cross out onto the deck.
Do you think the fact that we're friends is keeping us from finding someone?
Yes. So I think we should stop being friends, go home right now, and make love.
You don't mean that. You know you don't.
Now we hear 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! Everyone kisses. Harry and Sally kiss. It is very awkward. Should it be platonic? Should it be more? They break. It is slightly uncomfortable.
Happy New Year, Harry.
Happy New Year, Sally.
Fade in. Documentary footage. Another series of quick cuts of different older couples, each of them sitting on a love seat and looking at the camera.
My mother wanted me to meet him. She knew his mother from church.
No, it was my brother who thought of it.
My brother said, there's a new man at the office. He's very tall.
I was going out with my friend Michael. He brought her to my sister's wedding.
So we were supposed to meet at his brother's wedding.
My cousin's wedding.
But we didn't because his brother didn't marry that girl. Remember her, the one from the telephone company?
My Aunt Tess called one night. She just rented the spare room to a nice young man, a dentist.
I was going out with a sister. I liked her sister all right, but then I saw her.
So then one day we were all at the beach. I was doing the wrong accent.
Jones Beach.
Rockaway Beach. And we met.
Exterior West Broadway near a restaurant, early evening. Sally and her friend Marie walking down the street on their way to a restaurant.
You sent flowers to yourself?
$60 I spent on this big, stupid arrangement of flowers, and I wrote a card that I planned to leave out on the front table where Arthur would just happen to see it.
What did the card say?
Please say yes. Love, Jonathan.
And did it work?
He didn't even come over. He forgot some charity thing with his wife that his wife was the chairman of. He's never going to leave her.
Of course he isn't.
You're right. You're right. I know you're right. Where is this place?
Somewhere in the next block.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Look, Harry is one of my best friends and you're one of my best friends. And if by some chance you two hit it off, we could all still be friends instead of drifting apart the way you always do when you get involved with someone who doesn't know your friends.
You and I haven't drifted apart since I started seeing Arthur.
If Arthur ever actually left his wife and I met him, I'm sure you and I would drift apart.
He's never going to leave her.
Of course he isn't.
You're right. You're right. I know you're right.
Exterior West Broadway near restaurant night. Harry and his friend Jess coming down the street.
Here I come. I hate myself for letting you talk me into this. You know, I've finally gotten to a place in my life where I'm comfortable with the fact that it's just me and my work. If she's so great, why aren't you taking her out?
How many times do I have to tell you? We're just friends.
So you're saying she's not that attractive?
No, I told you she was attractive.
But you also said she had a good personality.
She does have a good personality.
Jess makes a precisely my point gesture.
What?
When someone's not attractive, they're always described as having a good personality.
Look, if you had asked me what she looks like and I said she has a good personality, that means she's not attractive. But just because I happen to mention she has a good personality, she could be either. She could be not attractive with a good personality or attractive with a good personality.
So which one is she?
Attractive.
But not beautiful, right?
Harry glares at him. Interior restaurant. Harry, Jess, Sally, and Marie at a table. Waiter has just brought them drinks.
Oh, really?
Where are you from?
South Orange.
Haddonfield.
I've never been to Haddonfield.
It's nice.
I'm sure it's great.
They all look at each other. Then they look at their menus.
So what are we going to order?
Well, I'm going to start with the grilled radicchio.
Oh, Jess, Sally is a great orderer. It's not just that she always picks the best thing on the menu. She orders it in such a way that it comes out in a way the chef had no idea how good it could be.
Sally shoots Harry a look.
I think restaurants have become too important.
I agree. Restaurants are to people in the 80s what theater was to people in the 60s. I read that in a magazine.
I wrote it.
You did? I never quoted anything from a magazine in my life. That's amazing. Don't you think that's amazing? And you wrote it.
Well, I also wrote, pesto is the quiche of the 80s.
Stop it. Really? I read that in the TWA In-Flight magazine.
Ambassador.
The issue with the picture of the two people at a table in a restaurant like this?
Very pristine.
Like a hospital.
Nobody's ever quoted me back to me.
Harry and Sally look on as Marie and Jess start to chatter. Cut to exterior restaurant night as Harry, Sally, Jess, and Marie come out of the restaurant.
That was a great meal. I'm stuffed. You want to walk a little?
Sure.
Exterior West Broadway night. They start to walk up the avenue, all four of them in a row, ad-libbing about the meal and what a nice night it is. They walk past a shoe store and Marie suddenly yanks Sally over, ostensibly to look at the shoes. The two men keep walking.
Sally.
Do you like him?
Harry? Yeah, he's nice, but How do you feel about Jess?
He seems okay. I couldn't really get a sense of.
You think you'd want to go out with him?
I don't know. I mean,
Because I feel very comfortable with him.
you want to go out with Jess?
Would it be okay with you?
Sure, sure. I'm just worried about Harry. He's very sensitive. He's going through a rough period, so don't like reject him right now, you know?
Oh, no, I wouldn't. I totally understand.
Cut to exterior West Broadway at night. Harry and Jess apparently in the midst of an identical conversation. They're stopped in front of a running equipment store.
If you don't think you're going to call Marie, do you mind if I call her?
Well, no. But for tonight, you shouldn't. Sally's very vulnerable. I mean, you can call Marie. It's fine. In a week, after a decent interval. But don't make any moves tonight.
Fine. No problem. No problem. Wasn't thinking about tonight.
The women join them.
Well, I don't feel like walking anymore. I think I'll get a cab.
I'll go with you.
Great. Taxi!
The cab screeches to a halt, and Jess and Marie get into it, and it pulls away, leaving Sally and Harry on the curb. They look at each other.
Haagen-Dazs?
Frusen Gladje. Steve's.
Fade in. Who ate all the Frusenglasen? Fade in. Documentary footage. Couple A again.
But he didn't pay any attention to me that day. He was hanging around a fancy schmancy girl named Rebecca Draper. I didn't like him.
I didn't like her, and that's the truth.
6 months later, though, we met again at a Spanish Civil War rally.
And the rest is history.
Ew. Fade out, fade in. Interior, the Sharper Image Day. One of those places with gifts for people who have everything. Harry and Sally browsing through. There's a remote controlled blimp, a giant Swiss Army knife, etc.
We're never going to find anything for Jess and Marie here. We should have gone to the plant store.
She picks up a pith helmet with a battery-operated fan in it, puts it down in disgust.
Here, the perfect thing. Everyone needs one of these.
He turns on one of those machines that allows you to sing the lead to the backup vocal instrumental on a song. What's that called? Harry puts in one of those cassettes there.
Whoa.
Oh my God, this is high tech. Immediately, the instrumental for the Surrey with a Fringe on Top comes on. Harry starts singing giddily.
Chicks and ducks and geese better scurry when I take you out in the Surrey. When I take you out in the Surrey with the fringe on top. Watch that fringe and see how it flutters. When I drive them high-stepping strutters, nosy pokes will peek through the shadows, and their eyes will pop.
Suddenly, Harry turns pale and stops singing. Sally continues on for a moment, then notices something is wrong.
The wheels are yellow, the upholstery's brown, the dashboard's genuine leather.
The backup music continues as she stops too.
What's the matter? It's my voice, isn't it? You hate my voice? I have a terrible voice. I know. Joe hated it. Every time I would sing something, he would say, please don't sing.
It's Helen.
What?
It's Helen. She's right there, coming right at me.
The backup vocal continues as we see coming toward Harry, a dark-haired, very chic woman, Helen, accompanied by a tall, attractive man, Ira.
How are you, Harry?
Fine.
This is Ira Stone, Harry Burns.
Ira?
They shake hands. It's very awkward. Harry suddenly remembers Sally.
Sally Albright. This is Sally Albright. Helen Hilson and Ira.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Terrible moment. Harry about to faint.
Well, see you.
Yeah. Bye, Ira.
A smile and they move on. Hold on Harry about to faint.
Are you okay?
I'm perfect.
Harry looks like one of those cartoon characters who's been struck on the head with a mallet.
She looked weird. She looked very weird. Did you think she looked weird?
I've never seen her before.
Oh, trust me, she looked weird. Her legs looked heavier too, didn't you think? She's retaining water.
Harry.
What? The woman saved everything.
Exterior plant shop day. Sally's paying for a plant. Harry's just staring blankly into a ficus. Sally approaches.
Are you sure you're okay?
I'm fine. It had to happen at some point. In a city of 8 million people, you're bound to run into your former wife. So it happened. And now I'm fine. I mean, it was like a catharsis. I looked death in the face and shook its hand. And now I feel great. I really feel okay.
Interior, Jess and Marie's apartment day. A nice west side floor through with a beautiful fireplace and a great deal of furniture. About twice as much furniture as is necessary, as a matter of fact. Marie and Jess in sneakers, jeans, baggy shirts are clearly in the middle of some sort of dispute as Harry sets down the plant. Sally oohs and ahs about the apartment, the paint job, etc. Harry is still distracted. There are a few unpacked boxes, some books, a couple of ashtrays, a glass, etc.
It works for me. It says home to me. It works.
Okay, we'll let Harry and Sally be the judge. What do you think of it?
Marie points to a large wagon wheel that's been made into a coffee table with a round plate glass over it. Harry looks at Jess, who's glaring at him.
It's nice.
Case closed.
Jess smiles victorious.
Of course he thinks it's nice. He's a guy. Sally?
Sally crinkles up her nose.
See?
What is so awful about it?
It's so awful that there is no way to begin to explain what is so awful about it.
I don't object to any of your things.
Look, if we had an extra room, you could put it in there with all of your things, including your bar stools, and I would never have to see it.
You don't like my bar stools?
Marie looks at him. Of course she doesn't like his bar stools. Jess turns to Harry for help. Harry, we now see, is sat down on a lone chair by the window, and he's staring out like a forlorn figure in a Magritte painting.
Harry, someone has to be on my side.
No response from Harry.
I'm on your side. I'm just trying to help you have good taste.
I have good taste.
Everyone in the world thinks they have a sense of humor and good taste, but they don't have all.
Harry stands up and looks around the room.
Start out like this. We started out like this, Helen and I. We had blank walls, we hung things, we looked at swatches, and you know what happens? 6 years later, you wind up singing Sorry with the Fringe on Top in front of Ira.
Harry, I know you're upset, but do we have to talk about this right now?
Well, what's wrong with right now? It's a perfect time to talk about this. I just want them to see. I just want them to see the realities of what this leads to. Everything's fine. Everybody's in love. Everybody's happy. And before you know it, you're screaming at each other about who owns the stereo. Someday you'll be fighting over this dish. I mean it. I mean it. Put your name in your books now while you are unpacking them before they get all mixed up together and you can't remember whose is whose. Because someday, believe it or not, you are going to be fighting over who's going to get this coffee table, this stupid wagon wheel coffee table.
I thought you liked it.
I was being nice.
Harry slams out the door. Sally looks at Jess and Marie.
He just bumped into Helen.
Sally goes out the door, leaving Jess and Marie.
Want you to know that I will never want that wagon wheel coffee table.
Exterior Jess and Marie's apartment day. Harry pacing in front of the stoop. Sally comes down the steps.
I know. I shouldn't have done that.
Harry, you have to find a way of not expressing every feeling you have every moment you have them.
Oh, really?
Yes, there are times and places for things.
Well, when you're giving your next lecture series in social graces, let me know. I'll sign up.
You don't have to get angry at me about it.
I think I'm entitled to a little anger when I'm being told how to live my life by Miss Hospital Corners.
You're about to cross a line, Harry.
So what? Is that the end of the world, crossing the line? You know what your problem is? You stand too far behind the line. I don't even think you can see the line from where you're standing.
And what is that supposed to mean?
I mean, nothing bothers you. You never get upset about anything.
Don't be ridiculous.
What? You never get upset about Joe. I never see it back up on you. How is that possible? Don't you experience any feelings of loss?
I've experienced my loss. I've had my mourning period. I'm done with it.
What mourning period? 1 hour in Bloomingdale's. You bought a pocketbook and heartbreak flew right out the window.
I don't have to take this from you.
Sally storms back into the building. Harry follows.
If you're so over Joe, why haven't you been seeing anyone?
I see people.
Sally storms back out into the street. Harry follows her down the street.
See people? Let me ask you something. Have you slept with one person since you broke up with Joe?
What the hell does that have to do with anything? That will prove that I'm over Joe because I fuck somebody? Harry, you're gonna have to move back to New Jersey because you've slept with anybody in New York, and I don't see that turning Helen into a fate memory for you. Besides, I will make love to someone when it is making love, not the way you do it, like you're out for revenge or something.
Are you finished now?
Yes.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
Do snapping turtles really snap? Is there an audible snap? Do they snap their little beaks and make little noises?
Harry.
Sally makes a locking her lip motion. She then throws away the imaginary key. Harry complies with her instructions. He then silently points back to Jess and Maurice, indicating, should we go back inside? Sally nods. As they walk back into the house, Harry starts to speak. Sally makes the locking gesture again. Again, Harry complies. They walk back up the steps and into the house, fade out. Interior Jess and Marie's apartment night. It's all furnished now, very comfortable, not lavish. A corduroy couch, lots of books and records. A couple of quilts hanging over the backs of chairs. No wagon wheel coffee table. A game of win, lose, or draws in progress.
Baby fish.
Yes. Sally's team consists of Harry, Alice, and Jess. Emily, Harry's date, is snuggled up against him. Alice's husband, Gary, Marie, and Julian, Sally's date, are part of the other team. Sally is feverishly drawing what is supposed to be a baby.
It's a monkey. It's a monkey. Monkey see, monkey do.
Sally shakes now and keeps drawing.
An ape? Going ape?
It's a baby.
Sally nods yes and writes the word baby on the paper. She continues to draw what looks like a big mouth.
Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes? She already said it's a baby. How about Planet of the Dopes?
Well, it doesn't look like a baby.
30 seconds.
Sally now has drawn what looks like arrows on lines coming out of the mouth.
Baby
Big
mouth.
mouth. Baby, a big mouth. Martha
baby.
Ray is a baby.
Big baby mouth.
Baby teeth?
Martha Ray.
Spit on a baby. Baby burp.
Baby burp the baby.
Baby spittle.
He said the ape thing.
Oh.
Ape.
Well, you forget ape. It's not an ape.
Baby fish mouth.
Harry
10 seconds.
Crying baby. Feed the baby. Baby food.
The baby's crying because it's wet. It needs to be changed. It's an unhappy baby. It's a mad baby.
That's it. Time's up.
Baby talk.
Baby. What's that? That's not a saying.
Oh, like baby fish mouth? That's a saying.
Final score, our team won 10, you guys 60.
That was a lot of fun. I thought you did great, hon.
Anybody for coffee?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Awesome. I'll help you.
Sally and Marie head towards the kitchen.
Never looked like a baby to me.
Where's the bathroom?
Down the hall to the right.
Emily gives Harry a kiss as she heads away. Sally notices this as Julian, Alice, and Gary recap the game.
Jess, you were going to show me the cover art for your new book.
Yeah, it's in the den.
As they go off, interior kitchen, Sally and Marie go about getting the coffee ready.
Emily's a little young for Harry, don't you think?
Cut to interior den.
Does Julian seem a little stuffy to you?
She's young, but look at what she's done.
What has she done? She makes desserts.
I'm not going to say all these quick cuts, so just keep going.
He's a good guy. You should talk to him. Get to know him.
He's too tall to talk to.
It's not just desserts. She makes 3,500 chocolate mousse pies a week.
Emily is Aunt Emily?
We took us to a Mets game last week. It was great.
Oh, you all went to a Mets game?
Yeah, it was a last minute thing.
But Sally hates baseball.
Harry doesn't even like sweets.
Julian's great.
I know. He's a grown-up. Never been with a grown-up.
Emily seems terrific.
Yeah. Of course, when I asked her where she was when Kennedy was shot, she said, 10 Kennedy was shot?
Interior Harry's bedroom night. Harry in bed reading, trying not to look at the last page, but finally he can't help himself as he flips to the last page. The phone rings. He reaches for the phone and answers it.
Hello?
Are you alone?
Yeah, I was just finishing a book.
Could you come over?
What's the matter?
He's getting married.
Julian?
No, Joe.
Interior hallway outside Sally's apartment night. Harry comes out of the elevator in a hurry, rings Sally's bell. Sally opens the door. She's wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt. She looks terrible, a big red nose. She starts to cry.
Come on in.
Harry puts his arms around her.
I'm sorry to call you so late.
It's okay.
She goes on sobbing, Harry holding her. Sally pulls back and gives a huge wheeze.
I need a Kleenex.
Sally starts into the apartment.
He just called me up. Just wanted to see how you were. Fine. How are you? Fine.
Interior Sally's bedroom night. Sally enters the room, goes for the Kleenex, blows her nose, then sits on the bed. Harry sits next to her.
His secretary is on vacation. Everything's getting backed up. He's got a big case in Newark. Blah, blah, blah. I'm sitting on the phone thinking, I'm over him. I am really over him. I can't believe I was ever remotely interested in any of this. And then he says, I have some news.
Sally starts to cry again.
She works in his office. She's a paralegal. Her name is Kimberly. He just met her. She's supposed to be his transitional person. She's not supposed to be the one. All this time, I've been saying he didn't want to get married. But the truth is, he didn't want to get married to me. He didn't love me.
If you could have him back right now, would you take him back?
No. Why didn't he want to marry me? Why didn't he love me? What's the matter with me?
Nothing.
I'm difficult.
You're challenging.
I'm too structured. I'm completely closed off.
Yeah, but in a good way.
No, I drove him away. And I'm gonna be 40.
When? In 8 years.
And it's there. It's just sitting there like a big dead end. And it's not the same for men. Charlie Chaplin had babies when he was 73.
Yeah, but he was too old to pick them up. Come here. Come here. Come here. It's going to be all right. You'll be okay.
I'm making a mess on your sweater.
That's all right. It wasn't one of my favorites anyway.
Harry holds her. He gives her a kiss, starts to break the hug.
I'll make you some tea.
Harry, could you hold me a little longer?
Sure.
Harry holds her. After a beat, Sally looks up at him, almost searching for something. Finally, she kisses him. A hungry, needy kiss. Harry's caught slightly off guard, but returns the kiss. As they begin to passionately make love. Dissolve to interior Sally's bedroom later. They've made love. Both of them lying in bed. Sally is in Harry's arms. Sally has a smile on her face. Harry stares straight ahead.
Are you comfortable?
Harry nods.
Hmm.
Do you want something to drink or something?
No, that's okay.
I'm gonna get up for some water, so it's no trouble.
Okay. Water.
Interior kitchen night. Sally at the sink, running some water into 2 glasses with ice. Hold on her face, a little smile breaks through. Interior bedroom night. Harry lying in Sally's bed, still staring straight ahead. In the room is a stuffed animal of some sort, maybe Sally's old teddy bear, pink quilt. Hold on his face, petrified. Interior hallway night as Sally comes back from the kitchen with ice water and into interior bedroom night. Harry's sitting up in bed with the light on, looking through a box of index cards. Sally gets into bed next to him.
You know, you can know someone a long time, but until you go to bed with them, you don't really know they have all their videotapes alphabetized and on index cards.
Sally hands him the water.
Thanks.
A silence while Harry desultorily goes through the box. Unbelievably awkward. Every sound is louder than it actually is. The riffle of the index cards, Sally taking a gulp of water, Harry rearranging his pillow.
Do you want to watch something?
No. Not unless you do.
No, that's okay. So do you want to go to sleep then?
Sure.
They turn out the lights, hold on them lying there.
Are you comfortable?
Sure.
It's a very firm mattress.
I like firm mattresses.
Do you want to turn off the lights?
Sure.
Harry flips off the light.
Good night, Harry.
Good night, Sally.
Harry closes his eyes. Sally's are open. Hold on her. She closes them. Harry's open. And hold on him lying there. Dissolve to interior bedroom, the middle of the night. Sally fast asleep. Harry wide awake, staring at the digital clock, which says 4:06 a.m. Interior bedroom almost dawn. Sally in bed asleep. The clock now says 5:59 a.m. It clicks to 6 a.m. Sally wakes up, sees the other half of the bed empty. Where's Harry? She turns over and sees him getting dressed.
Where are you going?
I gotta go.
Sally stares at him.
I have to go home and change from yesterday's clothes into today's clothes. And then I have to go to work, and so do you. And after work, I would like to take you out for dinner if you're free. Are you free?
Yes.
Fine. I'll call you later.
Fine.
Harry gives her a little kiss, walks out. Hold on her in bed as the door slams. Next to her is the phone. Interior Jess and Marie's bedroom morning, a bed with two phones on either side. Jess and Marie asleep in bed. The phone on Marie's side of the bed starts to ring. Marie and Jess both wake up, look at the clock. They can't believe how early it is. It rings again.
Yours.
Marie picks up the phone, pulls the phone onto the bed.
Hello?
I'm sorry to call so early.
Are you all right?
I did something terrible.
No one I know would call at this hour.
What did you do?
Phone rings on Jess's side of the bed.
No one I know would call at this hour.
So awful.
Jess, I think the depth of our friendship
So awful.
implies a call at any hour policy.
Split screen now so that we can see Marie and Jess in their bed on their phones talking to Sally in her apartment at the far right and Harry on a payphone at the street at the far left.
Harry came over last night.
What's the matter?
I went over to Sally's last night.
I think that's a Sally line.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was upset that Joe was getting married.
And one thing led to another.
And he was comforting me. And before I knew it, we were kissing. And then
So to make a long story short,
we did.
We did it.
They did it. That's great.
We've been praying for it.
You should have done it in the first place.
For 4 months we've been saying if only they would do it.
You belong together.
It would be like killing two birds with one stone.
It's like two wrongs make a right.
That's great. How
However,
was it?
The during part was good,
I thought it was good,
but after I started feeling suffocated.
but then I guess it wasn't.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
the worst.
I just wanted to get out of there.
It was like he just disappeared.
I feel terrible.
I'm so embarrassed.
You should feel terrible.
That's horrible.
I think I'm coming down with something.
I think I'm catching a cold.
Look, it would have been great if it worked, but it didn't.
You should never go to bed with anyone
Tell me about it.
when you've just found out your last boyfriend is getting married.
Now you really have a cosmic mess on your hands.
Oh, I knew if I called you, you'd make me feel better.
It's always a mistake.
Who's that talking?
Who?
Is that Jess on the phone?
Oh, it's Jane Fonda on the VCR.
It's Bryant Gumbel.
Do you want
Do you want to come over for breakfast?
Marie and Jess look at each other horrified.
I'm really not up to it.
I feel too awful.
Good.
Good. I mean, it's too early.
Look, call me later if you want to talk.
I'll call you later, okay?
Everyone hangs up. Sally and Harry vanish from the sides of the screen. Hold on Marie and Jess. Marie looks at Jess.
God,
No.
tell me I'll never have to be out there again.
Jess puts his arms around her and holds her.
You'll never have to be out there again.
Interior Sally's bathroom day. Sally looking at herself in the mirror as she puts on makeup.
I'll just say we made a mistake.
Interior Harry's bathroom day. Harry's showering in his own shower.
Hold on. Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, Sally, it was a mistake.
Interior Sally's bathroom day as before.
I just hope I get to say it first.
Oh, hey, look, it's a double.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I start scrolling too early and then I lost
Sorry.
that.
Harry's still showering.
I hope she says it before I do.
Interior restaurant night as the waiter brings Harry and Sally drinks. Both of them take a gulp.
It was a mistake.
I'm so relieved you think so too.
Both of them take swigs of their water.
I'm not saying last night wasn't a physically pleasurable sexual experience.
It was.
Yes, it was.
We just never should have done it.
I could not agree more.
I'm so relieved.
Me too.
Harry nodding, Sally nodding. Well, that's that. The waiter brings their salads. They start to eat. They eat. Silence. We hear the forks against the plates. More silence.
It's so nice when you can sit with someone and not have to talk. It just shows how really comfortable you are.
Hold on the scene as they go on eating in silence. Hold, fade out, fade in. Documentary footage. Another older couple on a love seat.
What happened was I went to the movies, a matinee of It Happened One Night, and just as the scene where Claudette Colbert hikes up a skirt to get a ride, the projector broke. If that projector did not break right then, I would never have been on the 313 trolley heading home, which I was. And who should sit next to me but my friend Louise? She says to me, let's go get an ice cream soda at Walgreens. We always went to Walgreens. Excuse me. So we get there, we sit down at the counter, and I say, let me have a black and white. That's chocolate soda with vanilla ice cream. And you know what the guy says to me? We're out of vanilla ice cream. How can you be out of vanilla ice cream? So Louise says, order something else, but my heart is set on a black and white. So we go over to the Armstrong Schroeder, where you should know I never went in my whole life before or since. So we're there, drinking my black and white, and who should walk in but my brother's friend Stanley, who's just brought a new car. A Duesenberg, he tells me. Come to the street and see it. So there I am looking at the car when who should come up but this handsome man who says, that's a beauty. What kind is it? A Duesenberg, I tell him. So if it wasn't for a broken projector, I'd be sitting here talking to you alone.
I was just walking down the street.
So good. That's so good. The exterior Central Park, Bethesda Fountain.
Amazing.
Day. Harry and Jess fast walking along.
It's just like most of the time you go to bed with someone and then she tells you all her stories and then you tell her all your stories. But with Sally and me, we'd already heard each other's stories. So once we went to bed, we didn't know what we were supposed to do, you know?
Sure, Harry.
I don't know. You get to a certain point in a relationship where maybe it's just too late to have sex, you know? It's sort of like incest.
Interior department store dressing room day. We can see Marie in her underclothes, Sally in a chair.
Harry bringing Emily to the wedding?
They broke up.
Is he seeing anyone else?
He was seeing this anthropologist.
What'd she look like?
Thin, pretty, big tits, your basic nightmare. What do you think?
Marie is trying on a very traditional white wedding dress with a train and a veil.
Oh, Marie.
Tell me the truth.
It's just beautiful.
You don't think it's silly? I mean, what?
Beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Sally's eyes start to well with tears. Fade in. Interior Puck building. The wedding. Afternoon. Oh, sorry. The wedding. A winter wedding with pine boughs and holly. Marie in her wedding dress with a gorgeous bouquet of flowers coming through the door of a small banquet room with her father and Sally, who's the maid of honor. The chamber music quartet is playing something by Mozart as they all come down the aisle to a judge, who's standing at the head of the aisle next to Jess and Harry, his best man. Harry looks at Sally as she comes down the aisle. Sally looks at him for a moment, looks away. Interior Puck building, wedding reception, entrance, and kitchen afternoon. A band is playing. Sally's talking to an older couple who excuse themselves, and as they do, we see Harry approach her.
Hi.
Hello?
Nice ceremony.
Beautiful.
Sally is clearly uncomfortable. She's going to behave like someone who simply is not going to get involved or even pretend interest in the conversation.
Boy, the holidays are rough. Every year I just try to get from the day before Thanksgiving to the day after New Year's.
A lot of suicides.
Harry nods. Sally nods. A waiter comes up with a tray of hors d'oeuvres. How did I not cast it? I don't know. Would you like a pea pod with shrimp?
Thank you.
He takes one.
How have you been?
Fine.
How's everything with Julian?
Sally looks at him.
Harry,
What?
I don't want to talk about this.
Okay. Is it because of what happened?
I don't want to talk about it.
Why can't we get past this? I mean, are we going to carry this thing around forever?
Forever? It just happened.
It happened 3 weeks ago.
Sally looks at him disbelievingly.
You know how a year to a person is like 7 years to a dog?
Yes.
Harry throws up his hands as if it's self-explanatory.
Is one of us supposed to be a dog in this scenario?
Yeah,
Who is the dog?
you are.
I am. I'm the dog.
Yes.
I'm the dog.
People are starting to notice the intensity of the conversation. Sally is really furious now. She starts towards a large screen that's a few feet from the end of the room, thinking they can get some privacy if she gets behind it.
I don't see that, Harry. If anyone's a dog, you are the dog. To you, this is something that just happened, and you think you can say, great, it happened. Now let's get on with it. We'll go back to the way it was. Like what happened didn't mean anything.
They reach the screen, but there's no getting behind it. There are folded chairs and the bass player's bass case and the drummer's drum suitcases, etc. Sally reverses and starts toward a door out of the room. Harry follows.
I'm not saying it didn't mean anything. I'm just saying, why does it have to mean everything?
Because it does. And you should know that better than anyone, because the minute it happens, you walk right out the door.
I didn't walk out. I
No,
just
sprinted is more like
But we both agreed it was a mistake.
worst mistake I ever made.
They go through the door Sally was heading for, and now they're in the kitchen. Waiters are banging by with trays, dumping glasses into the sink, opening champagne, etc. Harry and Sally shouting now over the din.
It's always the same. It's always the same. The minute you make love with someone, the expectations start.
First of all, I'm not someone. Second of all, I don't expect anything from you, okay?
Bullshit. You expect me to know how to behave with you now.
You don't have to behave anyway with me now, okay?
Fine, fine. But let's get one thing straight. I didn't go over there that night to make love to you. That is not why I went there. But what was I supposed to do? You looked at me with those big, weepy eyes. Don't go home tonight, Harry. Hold me a little longer, Harry.
What are you saying? You took pity on me? Fuck you.
Sally slaps Harry across the face, then bursts out of the kitchen with a stunned Harry right behind her. Interior Puck Building, wedding reception day. The entire wedding party is assembled around the bandstand. The band is playing some kind of musical riff that signals that attention must be paid. Sally comes to a stop. Harry's just behind her. There's a crowd of guests assembled in a knot, with Jess and Marie, their arms around each other, standing there with their champagne glasses. Jess is in front of the microphone.
I want to propose a toast to Harry and Sally.
The entire crowd turns toward the two of them.
To Harry and Sally. If Marie and I had found either of them remotely attractive, we would not be here today.
Everyone laughs and raises their glasses to Harry and Sally. Marie takes her wedding bouquet and lobs it into the air straight at Sally. For a moment, we think Sally isn't going to make a move for it, but she's just going to let it land on the floor. But at the last moment, she reaches out and catches it. Hold on her. Music here. Christmas in New York. Everywhere you look, twinkly lights and happy children and people carrying home big presents. And Santa Claus is ringing bells on the street corners. Exterior 96th Street, Christmas tree stand day. Sally in jeans and a plaid jacket has just bought her Christmas tree, and the salesman has finished putting plastic netting around it. Sally starts to carry the tree. It's very heavy. The top of it's dragging slightly behind her, and she's leaving a little trail of pine needles behind her as she starts home. But she's going to carry this damn tree home alone if it kills her. As we watch her carry the tree home, we hear a beep on Sally's machine.
Hi, it's me. It's the holiday season. This doesn't happen to be my holiday, but I thought I might remind you that this is a season of forgiveness and charity. So if you felt like calling me back, it would make me a very happy person.
Cut to Sally's apartment, day. Sally listens to her machine as she puts away groceries.
Hello, if you're there, please pick up the phone. I really want to talk to you.
Interior Harry's apartment, day. Harry's pacing around his living room, phone in hand.
I'll take this as a sign you're not home, or else you are home with that cretin you've been dating. And if he's there with you now, please understand when I say cretin, I mean it in the best possible sense of the word.
Interior Sally's apartment day. Sally not picking up.
You there? Nope. Okay. Well, call me back.
Beep. Hold on a still upset Sally. Cut to exterior street, hot dog stand day. Harry and Jess are stopped at a hot dog stand.
Obviously, she doesn't want to talk to me. What, do I have to be hit over the head? If she wants to call me, she'll call me. I'm through making a schmuck out of myself.
Cut to interior Harry's apartment day. Harry's singing on the phone. The backup music machine is going. What is this backup music?
If you're feeling sad and lonely, there's a service I can render. Tell the one who loves you only, I can be so warm and tender.
Interior Sally's apartment day. Sally enters carrying shopping bags.
Call me. Don't be afraid, you can call me. Maybe it's late, but just phone. Wah. Call me and I'll be around. Give me a call.
Beep. Sally just stares. Finally, she picks up the phone.
Hi, Harry.
And cut back and forth.
Hey, hi. I didn't think you were going to. Hi, what are you doing?
I was just on my way out.
Where are you going?
What do you want, Harry?
Nothing. I just called to say, what are you doing for New Year's? Are you going to the Tyler's party? Do you have a date? Because I don't have a date. And if you don't have a date, we always said if neither of us had a date on New Year's.
Harry, I can't do this anymore. I am not your consolation prize. Goodbye.
She hangs up. Exterior Times Square night, a tight shot of Dick Clark. We pull back to reveal interior Harry's apartment night. Harry is lying in bed eating pistachio nuts, watching Dick Clark on television.
Oh, what's so bad about this? You have Dick Clark, that's tradition. You have Malamars, the greatest cookie of all time. And you're about to give the Knicks their first championship since 1973.
Harry aims a wadded piece of paper, a wiffle ball, at a basketball hoop over the door to his bedroom. He misses. He looks back at the television set. His mind drifts, and we push in on his face. Now we see New Year's Eve a year earlier. Harry and Sally are dancing. Harry dips Sally. Sally is laughing, and we hear her voice.
Do you think the fact that we're friends is keeping us from finding someone?
Yes. So I think we should stop being friends, go home right now, and make love.
You don't mean that. You know you don't mean that.
Interior Harry's bedroom night. Harry thinking about what just went through his mind.
Air. Air would be good right now.
Interior New Year's Eve party night. A great big New Year's Eve party just like the one we were at a year earlier. The mirrored ball is twirling, twinkle lights on everyone's face. Sally dancing with a tall man. He dips her. She's appalled. Upright again, she catches Marie's eye as the tall man swoops her about the floor. Marie is dancing with Jess.
I don't know why I let you drag me to this.
And she's dipped again. Exterior downtown street night. Harry walking down the street past shop windows.
This is good. This is good. New Year's resolution number 1. I got to do this more often. Window shopping. All the fun and none of the expense.
He passes a couple. The woman is laughing. Push in on Harry's face. We see Harry and Sally in the Temple of Dendor. Pepper, pepper, pepper. A part to partake of your pecan pie. Sally is laughing. Over it, we hear.
I think you should wear skirts more. You look good in skirts.
I do?
Yeah.
Exterior downtown street night. Harry more agitated by his thoughts. He walks into an ice cream store. Interior New Year's Eve party night. Sally is laughing merrily at a joke some man has just told her. Marie passes her by. Sally turns her face quickly towards Marie, her face quickly passing from happiness to anguish.
I'm going home.
You'll never get a taxi.
Sally turns back to the man who told the joke, the smile replastered onto her face. Cut to exterior Washington Square night. Harry is walking along the same place he was dropped off by Sally 11 years ago. He has an ice cream cone.
This was a good move. It's 10 degrees out and the wind chill factor in my mouth is a million below, and I'm eating ice cream. A wise choice.
He dumps the ice cream in a trash can. He stops and looks up at the arch. And we see the scene in Washington Square 11 years ago. Harry and Sally are saying goodbye. They shake hands awkwardly.
Well, I guess we're not going to be friends then. It's too bad. You were the only person I knew in New York. Have a nice life.
Harry, back in reality, thinking about what just happened in his mind, he feels the cold and turns his collar up, then starts walking slowly away from the arch. We stay with Harry as his pace starts to quicken and finally ends with him running down the street. Interior New Year's Eve party night. It's almost midnight. Balloons, confetti, the mirrored ball spinning slowly around. The excitement in the room builds as we approach midnight. We see Sally with a group of friends, including Jess and Marie.
I'm going.
It's almost midnight.
I can't stand the thought of not kissing somebody.
Big deal. I'll kiss you.
Thanks, Jess, but I have to go.
Interior street night. Harry's still running, looking for a cab. He can't find one. He keeps running. Interior party night. Sally at the closet, putting on her coat. Exterior street night. Harry running down the street. Interior party night. Sally is kissing Jess and Marie goodbye.
Wait 2 minutes.
I'll call you tomorrow.
She turns to go. She stops dead in her tracks. It's Harry. Slowly he comes towards her and stops in front of her.
I've been doing a lot of thinking. And the thing is, I love you.
What?
I love you.
How do you expect me to respond to this?
How about you love me too?
How about I'm leaving?
Sally turns and walks off, parting the crowd. Harry follows her like a terrier.
Doesn't what I said mean anything to you?
During the following, we hear the countdown to the new year, after which everyone breaks into Happy New Year. Confetti flies, everyone's kissing and breaking into Old Lang Syne.
What is it supposed to mean? I'm sorry, Harry. I know it's New Year's Eve and I know you're feeling lonely, but you can't just show up here and tell me you love me and expect that to make it all right. I mean, what am I supposed to say? Great, Harry, you love me. That settles everything. Now we can waltz off into the sunset together. It doesn't work that way.
Well, how does it work?
I don't know, but not this way.
How about this way? I love how you get cold when it's 62 degrees out. I love the way your mouth turns down just a little bit right there. I love the little crinkle you get between your eyes like that when you're looking at me like I'm nuts. I love how it takes you an hour and a half to order a sandwich. I even love when you use my sweater for a Kleenex. I love it that after spending the day with you, I can still smell your perfume on my clothes. I love how you're the last person I want to talk to before I go to sleep at night. It took me 11 years to figure this out. And I came here tonight because when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with someone, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible.
See? That's just like you, Harry. You say things like that and you make it impossible for me to hate you. And I hate you. I hate you, Harry. I hate you.
She starts to cry. Harry puts his arms around her. They kiss. A long kiss. The twinkle ball goes around twinkling. They go on kissing. Old Lang Syne continues in the background.
My whole life, I have never known what this song means.
I know exactly what you mean.
I mean, should old acquaintances be forgot? Does that mean we should forget old acquaintances? Or does it mean if we do happen to forget them, we should remember them, which is not possible because we forgot them?
Maybe you're just supposed to remember that you forgot them or something. Anyway, it's about old friends.
They start to kiss again, and as the camera pulls up away from them,
The first time we met, we hated each other.
You didn't hate me, I hated you. The second time we met, you didn't even remember me.
I did too. I remembered you. The third time we met, we became friends.
We were friends for a long time.
And then we weren't.
And then we fell in love.
couple on a love seat, Harry and Sally together, looking at the camera.
2 months later, we got married.
It was a beautiful wedding.
Yeah. We had this incredible coconut cake.
With a very rich chocolate sauce on the side.
Yeah, you know, because everybody doesn't like sauce right on top of their cake. Some people.
As they continue on, we fade out the end. Oh my god!
Yay!
Happy New Year.
So cute.
Oh my god, you guys.
Everybody
Thank
did
everybody for doing the bits. I know there's like not a lot for other people to do in this one, so I really appreciate it.
Oh my god.
No, it's
All
fun.
the
It's
old
fun.
ladies is all I've ever wanted.
They're delightful.
What I love is
Oh,
like,
I was so psyched when I saw that. I was like,
Yeah,
I love your old lady voices, but I also love your little kid voices. So like, it's always a joy.
well, like I said, for a long time, my sort of dream in theory has been to voice cartoons. So I always am like trying out weird voices so that the old
Los Angeles is a really good place for voiceover.
I'm aware. It's actually a much better place than New York for that particular business.
If only you were going out
not
there sometime
exist
soon.
here, but it's much better out there. Sorry, what?
I said if only you were going out there sometime soon. Maybe you could
Oh.
check it out, you know?
Like wink, wink. Huh?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I guess this movie has a lot of Harry Connick Jr. in it, and that's why we flew through the script, because there is a lot of Harry Connick Jr.
Yeah,
There's
it's
a
a
lot of like
montage.
establishing New York, beautiful
Yeah.
shots, and
Sorry I turned into such a fucking weirdo nerd.
who
but I was like,
cares? Come on.
Katz's Deli, I beg your
You're
pardon.
right.
Carnegie can go to hell.
You're right as a New Yorker to do that.
Carnegie is trash.
To be fair, like if this took place in LA, I'm sure like me and Beth and Dina would be like, excuse me.
Yeah.
It'd be the same.
You don't go to La Brea for tacos. What are you doing?
Also, like, this is a Nora Ephron project. She doesn't go south of 50th Street. You know, she doesn't even know what Katz's Deli is. She's
But
like,
that's
"No,
where they
I'm-
shot it.
I am uptown, and that's where I
Yeah.
am. And this is the Upper Wood. This is Central Park. That is
Now-
Central Park.
When we
I'm
do
just-
something like Less Than Zero, we'll be here arguing about LA.
Yes.
But I was really glad. I love that they shot it in Katz's because Katz's is amazing.
It is
That's
really good.
That's on the list when
There we go.
when
When
you
I
come
go.
here.
When I
Oh, girl.
go here.
They're expensive, but those sandwiches are.
When it
You have a big
comes-
plate of pickles with your sandwich. Oh,
So good.
Reached the point where all delis are expensive, all universally.
I do find it funny though that like growing up in New York and spending like 30 years of my life in New York and then coming out here, when I see a New York deli style LA place, it's like an ethnic restaurant. So it's like playing up the New York. Like there's
Yeah.
like tiles on the floor and like
Yeah.
the waiter has like the Disney version of Judaism.
Ugh.
You know, they have like a
that's like when Walgreens
what I
first
should
bought
make
out.
you pastrami, and I'm like, okay, this is
Wait,
just
so
the
when
deli
did you
where I'm from.
when did you move out there?
I came out here in 16.
Oh, okay, so not that long ago.
Yeah.
So you so you remember maybe when Walgreens first bought Dwayne Reed and they started doing the store brand products and it was like hotter than the subway in July and I was like nobody says that. Nobody says that. Not a thing.
Yeah, I mean that's it's
I'm like
rough.
Big Apple something or other. I'm like nobody here calls it the Big Apple.
Well, that's also the running. That's like the Office joke where Michael comes in and he gets New York pizza at Sparrow. You know, like all the like chain, like the only Olive Garden that exists in New York is in Times Square.
Times
Yeah.
Square, yeah.
Only Bubblegum Shrimp, Times Square.
I remember because I had friends who were from Westchester and they would come into the city and they didn't want to leave Midtown and I was like, please,
Yeah.
there's so much better food
It's the same in San Francisco.
everywhere else. Literally go a mile in any direction and there's better food.
I always just make the joke that actually the restaurants in Times Square literally even have just a different entrance on like 7th or like 8th, and it's the same restaurant, but they charge way less and offer you better food. It's
That's
just they
true.
put you in a different
and then
portion.
if
You just
you
go
go
in
to
the back
Restaurant
way.
Row and you know where to go, like if you go to like Becco or whatchamacallit, Joe Allen, which is actually like surprisingly not that expensive, even though all
Sure.
the fancy people go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you go to Restaurant Row, that's good shit. That's real
Well,
good.
Joe
And
Allen, that's the
Becco-
one with the failed Broadway posters.
But Becco, yes, Joe
That's
Allen
my
has a
favorite
failed
thing. Do you guys
Broadway.
know about
They have
this?
like the poster for the original production of Carrie, and like
Joe
all the
Allen is a
weird,
restaurant,
like all the shows that like did not run for
They
any
have to-
amount of time.
There's actually a rule. They have Broadway show posters that closed after one night. That's how
Yes.
you get your poster at Joe Allen.
But I think
One
they
show and it
added-
goes down, and then it gets a poster.
But
at
I
Joe
think years ago they added Spider-Man put on Turn Off the Dark, and there was a whole controversy about it because they were like, it didn't close after one night, but it was such a incredible, long, drawn out catastrophe that like we had to make an exception because they kept doing it even though people kept getting hurt. And
It
like
was a fiasco. That show
it
was just
so bad.
Oh my god, it's amazing. It crossed the threshold where you no longer want it to get better. You want it to get
Right,
worse.
like
So that like it would be a bad story. Like at first you're like, okay,
can't-
I don't want anyone to get
can't
hurt.
give
After
Julie
a while, you're
Taymor
like, no,
unlimited
I hope someone dies. Like I want this to be the worst possible thing.
There's certain types of creative people who really thrive under limitations, and I think Julie Taymor is one of them because I think when you give her too much power, she's like, what if we had a spider lady who wanted all the shoes? And it's like, what? What are we even talking about anymore?
I'm sorry. Anyway, we're New York dominating the
Sorry.
The rest of you other non-New Yorker
Damn New Yorkers.
That's
I
one
just,
fine.
It's so
You're
rare. I'm
okay.
usually the only one.
Yeah.
This is very exciting.
Yeah.
Beth, let's talk about Trejo's tacos. Let's go.
Oh my god, I'm gonna eat so many tacos.
Too expensive.
Donuts. Let's
It's
talk
too
about the donuts.
expensive.
Brandy's donuts.
I'm gonna come back like
The fucking
10 pounds
donut.
heavier after 3
You are,
days.
because I'm gonna take you everywhere.
I do love
But you know what? You're not, because we're gonna because this isn't the first trip. It is the first trip. It's
First
not
trip.
the last trip. So
Right.
we can
There you
spread
go.
it out a little. I'll just try and pick and choose like
It's gonna be, I mean, the same with Katz's, because like the thing about it is it's wonderful, but like half a sandwich is a meal. So the other half is like leftovers. You can have that for dinner or like whatever later, like lunch the next day. But I have a special order at Katz's because I grew up like 3 blocks away. So I figured out my special sandwich at Katz's. Most people get the pastrami. I get the brisket, and I get a side of gravy.
what?
Now you,
Dunk it.
A side, you say?
Dunk that bitch.
by your own order, you mean that like literally it's called it's called the Sadie.
No, it's not called the Sadie. No.
You walked in. Look, I have an order at Katz's.
No, I
It's a
remember because years
pastrami.
ago I went in and I was like, let me try the brisket. I haven't had it and I bet it's really good. And they said, do you want gravy with that? And I was like, yes.
Obviously.
I'm going to say no to gravy. Excuse you.
we have in Berkeley like this place called Saul's Deli, which is like kind of a New York style, like, you know, deli, whatever. And you get a brisket sandwich there, and it comes with the dipping.
Named after a Jewish guy. That's how you know.
Saul, yeah, it's
Saul,
Saul's,
it's Saul's Deli.
It's the best. It's just delicious. It's like you could never. But now that sandwich is like $22 or something. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no,
It is good. It is good. It's not Katz's, but it's pretty good for like Berkeley Deli.
I have no doubt. I mean, the thing is, most of that
late
stuff.
at night. I don't want to be hungry.
Sorry. But most of that stuff is like doable it's not like, you know, I don't know if it's true about the water with the bagels, but like the meats you can do anywhere.
I like watching Gina do her weave.
I was hoping that you were proud of me, Liz or Beth. Sorry, I'm still working on that.
I know, it's cool.
But the best like styled wig I could find came up to like here. So it was like a wig and a bunch of extensions.
You did great.
Thanks.
It looks wonderful.
I'm like trying to take care of it so I can use it in the
But
future.
now we have to do 9 to 5 because that would be a good dolly wig too.
Hey, I'm down.
Yes, please. Let's do 9 to 5.
I would love to.
You sang a little too well, though. Meg Ryan famously cannot. She is
Yeah.
beyond tone deaf. There's like a point past tone deaf where you become anti-tone. Like I don't even know what it is. Like,
It like comes back around.
I don't even know. I mean, it's just amazing to see her try to sing in this movie because I mean, I
Singing
think
is
it's intentionally done because it's kind of cute how horrible
Right.
a singer she is.
Yeah.
But I remember that in like Disney's Hercules, it's Meg Ryan, and then suddenly starts to sing, and I was like, no, that's not Meg Ryan. Don't
Susan
lie to
Egan.
me. Don't lie to me, Disney. Meg Ryan cannot carry
Yeah.
a tune.
Susan
I wish
Egan.
that was a thing that we would still do. I wish that musicals in film and television wouldn't insist on trying to make these celebrities pretend like
Oh,
they
yeah, they
can
can
sing.
sing, I know.
Can we just hire professional singers?
Yes,
and
hire
dub
people who
everyone
can
who can't
sing.
sing.
Like, I hate when they have somebody who's a mediocre singer, but they auto-tune them, and it's like, just let them be a mediocre singer. If you're gonna cast a mediocre singer, let them be like fucking Emma Watson in Beauty and the Beast. Like, I can't watch that movie.
Ugh.
It just sounds like,
I mean, for a number of reasons, but yes.
but
I mean,
like
the rest of it's so good.
no.
I heard that Richard
They
Gere
added new
refused
songs
to
and
audition.
didn't add in the ones that already existed. That it was so confusing. There were so many
I had
songs
to
that
turn
already
it off after
existed
the
that they
first
could
song.
have added back in, and they didn't do that. They wrote new ones, and I was like, but why?
I just
Sorry, I wanted to show off my wig for Super Secret Project.
Oh, cute.
Little redhead.
Mine is a
very
Snow White
kind.
wig that I had to like tuck around everywhere. Look,
It looks great. It was
Joel,
like,
you're
Fierce
like
tuck, babe.
your costume and
fine.
background game.
started with.
now we have to do Twin Peaks because that's some Bobby Briggs hair.
It really, really is. That's a butt cut.
Butt cut.
That's a classic butt cut.
I
Very,
love the wig sharing.
very impressed with your costume and virtual background game, Joel.
Oh my
Really.
god, it was so good.
I'm getting
How?
a lot of
Joel's a
practice.
legend.
I'm getting a lot of practice.
Super good at this. This is an art form that Joel has perfected.
Clearly.
I really wish I had those tights that they go walking in. Those tights are so
Oh
fun.
yeah.
Oh, and they told the way they walk.
Yeah.
Power walking is so great.
It's amazing.
Katie, how do you look good on every hair color? It's not fair.
Because she beautiful.
Thank you. I had to find a very particular blonde wig for the blonde one that I have because blonde can be really not good on me. So
Well, ashy blondes are hard to do.
yeah, that one's kind of it's a little bit, well, I don't know.
But it's got pink in it, right?
Yeah, it's got pink in it
It's very cute.
because it was
I
for
love
a cosplay of a cartoon character.
Eat cosplay.
Cosplay.
What's cosplay?
Steven Universe cosplay. It was very, very, very niche character. Because you know me.
Oh,
Yes.
Rainbow Quartz, the first one, the one who doesn't talk and just dances.
very.
Oh, so I don't know anything about Steven Universe, but I did make a couple of Steven Universe wigs for Rachel before I told her I wasn't going to make her wigs anymore. Because I was like, you know what?
That tracks.
I
it's-
decided I don't like to work for people. I don't like customers and I don't like to work for people. So I think I'm going to stop doing that. And then I'm going to make
That is sad because you're really good at it, but I respect your decision.
I mean, I'll do it sometimes, but
And you can also like be really selective about your
absolutely
your
just
commissions.
like, and
so that
the
it's-
mistake
yeah.
is to like the people that are hounding me, like those are the people I need to say no to.
Yeah.
Because those are the difficult people.
Yeah.
Or just everyone. You know, people are terrible. So the less you can,
In
I
general.
try to have as little contact with doing things for other people as much as I possibly can.
There it
Also
is.
that.
So
Yep.
this is oh god.
Bingo. You guys,
Hang on.
this was really fucking good.
This was really, really, really good.
It was
Yeah.
really good.
It was a lot of fun.
It was super fun.
Oh,
It was an honor being your fake wife, Joel.
Oh
What's
my
that?
god.
It was an honor being your fake wife.
Yes, I know. I was so happy we got paired up in this one. That was
It's
so
like,
fun.
oh boy, Joel.
You guys are delightful.
Gina, amazing.
You too. Oh my gosh.
Fun.
Such good like timing and I just thoroughly impressed. Like you guys are all amazing, but it was excellent.
Yeah.
made
really
It's a
good.
dream team.
Super
I was so
fun.
Found it.
I was so happy with. Oh, there it is.
Oh good.
No, you need to link that picture. That's not enough of it for
Oh
me.
yeah, you can't
need to
see
see
it.
a better
It's
one.
all yeah.
Yes.
That was
See the
that was the
link.
hardest I've ever worked on a cosplay ever by far.
Nice. Oh,
I watched
I
a little
mean,
bit.
I didn't
watched the-
realize this like
You go, Joel.
Oh, I was gonna say, I watched the whole movie for my first time last night.
Oh wow, you never seen it?
Wow.
Uh,
So you're the
but
one.
I was getting major PTSD because Billy Crystal in this character reminds me of this ex-employee that I used to have who was like
Oh.
traumatizing.
Oh
And
no.
I was so happy, David, because you like were nothing like him in the best way.
That's
Like,
what I was gonna say. I was actually thinking this earlier, is like Harry, like both of them really, but Harry in particular, if he's not lovable, then he's really bad.
dick.
Like
Huge dick.
he's a character who can really go either way depending on how
Funny
you play it.
say that because Harry is 100% Gabe. Real life all the time.
Well, luckily he's lovable.
But you know what I mean, where it's like there's a line and he's like just on the right side of it.
Yeah.
And if you're not on the right side of it, it turns really ugly.
Actually, what my least favorite edit was that scene where they have the fight and he in the movie he apologizes and it's great, but in this he just like cracked a joke and I'm like, nope, that was a really good editing choice.
Yeah, where
They
he's
did
like,
a
"I'm
lot of
sorry."
the editing
Just talk to
choices.
They did a great job editing this.
But I think a lot of the interviews read a lot better in the film than on the page as
Yeah.
well.
Well, like it says it at the beginning that I kind of skipped over, that a lot of the people they were saying that people were going to tell their own versions of the story. So I think a lot of them are ad-libbed.
Yeah.
There
Yes,
are some
but-
that are in, but some that are just, they made them up.
Definitely, but it's a little misleading because originally they were going to use real people telling their
Right.
like real stories, and then they tried it a little bit and they were like, and they brought in actors
Yeah.
to ad lib and do the thing. So it is actors. It's not like real people in the movie, although it isn't like obviously isn't the exact script stuff.
Yeah.
Roberta.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that was my
So
favorite.
hot.
My
Joel,
favorite
you
one is the
watched
guy
this?
who has the like million different ex-wives and stuff, and that's way
Oh,
better in
yeah.
the movie than it is in the script.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in like, I mean, I've watched it like a billion times in my life, but it's been years
It used
now.
to be like one of my comfort movies. So
Yeah. Well, I just
Yeah.
like going back through it, reading the script, like I realized how much I have quoted from this thing over the years, like whether it's like the "you're right, I know you're right," or the Pepperkosh stuff, or I mean, like my friends and I, when we were like at Jewish summer camp, we just used to quote this movie all day, It was
Oh,
like,
I
yeah.
went to not Jewish summer camp, but everyone there was Jewish, so like, yes.
like in like
Wet Hot
in
American Summer.
Wet Hot American Summer, exactly.
Like,
Yep.
Exactly.
every
Like, all right, Saul Rosenstein,
Like-
are you here?
Oh.
Rose Blatt, are you here?
That movie is.
So last night, Joel, you watched this for the first time.
Yeah, it was my first viewing. It was
So
good.
What'd you think?
last night, Sadie watched Velvet Goldmine with me for the first time.
Oh,
Sadie
that's a
had
good
never
one.
seen Velvet Goldmine.
See that D?
You haven't seen it?
That
Gotta
movie's
see that
awesome.
D?
Joel!
Joel,
Oh, it's even
Joel,
crazier that you
stop
haven't seen it than
right
it was that I
now.
hadn't seen it.
I don't even know you that well, and I know that you would love that movie.
No,
Yeah.
because I was like freaking out that I hadn't seen it already, even though I knew how badly I needed to see it. Even then, still, I was like, how? This is like all the things that are me. Like, it's like David Bowie and Iggy Pop and Mick Jagger and like
Ewan McGregor's dick.
and Ewan McGregor's dick while he's jumping around.
Yes.
it's all the
With
things.
glitter all over him.
If you don't see Obi-Wan's dick, there is no
Naked,
point.
shiny Ewan
Grab it,
McGregor.
Liz.
It's glorious. I was just telling Kenzo, I was like, check it
Boiled up
I
and
haven't
covered
seen
in
it.
glitter.
I
Wait,
first saw this movie when I had my appendectomy, and my dad rented a bunch of movies for me to watch. And he watched this with me, and we didn't know. I'd never seen it. He'd never seen it. And that part came up, and we were both like, it was fine. It was just like, maybe this is the best movie to watch with your dad, but here we are.
But the thing is, when that happens, it's not like a sexy moment. It's just like
A little like,
moment. It's like
he was
a
just like, oh, there's a dick, and I'm
it's like a Sid
put that
Vicious
there,
fuck you
okay.
moment. Yeah, it's like
Still, it's like, oh, hello.
oh no,
penis.
it's yeah, there's a penis.
Hello,
He
unexpected.
rented
dick.
it knowing I
There's a
was
penis and like a butthole.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
gets
yeah, he totally bends over.
a
So,
lot.
long story short, Joel, you need to watch this movie.
Soundtrack is the songs are really good too.
Oh.
I know. That's
Awesome.
what I was saying is I want to do a reading of it, and I was like, I wonder how many people know the music well enough. But I think
I will learn it.
Yeah,
Isn't Eddie Izzard in it too? Doesn't he have a small part?
Yes.
Eddie Izzard is in
He's
it.
the manager.
Yeah,
Manager.
because I would like to do. I think I'm
She?
gonna like, maybe announce it a little
They?
early so that people have.
they or she. I believe it's she.
I was gonna say different
Now it's
different
she.
pronouns now.
She's
They.
going by she now. Yep.
Yeah, I want to do it. But I want to announce it early so that people have time to learn the songs because
Yeah.
I want to do them because
Gay
they're so
rock, gay
good.
rock, gay rock, gay rock.
The question is with something like that, does everyone have to put on an absurd British accent?
Not
No.
everyone
How
is
do you feel about
absurdly
that?
British.
The thing is, a lot of the
Ewan's
actors
American.
are doing an absurd American accent.
Yeah.
They're British.
Well, it's just you have to do the opposite of what you have. So
There you
if
go.
you're American, you have to do an absurd British accent. If anyone British people show up, they have to do absurd American accent.
darling.
Tony Collette does a fake American.
I was gonna
and a
say
fake
darling.
He
Yeah,
did
that's
it on
right. That's a good
purpose,
point.
though. I think Ewan McGregor's American accent just sucked. But I think
It
Toni
got
Collette
better with
did it on
time, but
purpose.
back then it was not very good.
She was a fake.
I mean, it's no
Oh,
Liam
American
Neeson for
Liam
bad
Neeson.
American accent, but no one can beat the Liam Neeson bad
It
American
just
accent.
he sounds like he's really thinking about how to pronounce every word a
I
little bit.
want you to know I am an American from the American
But then he'll say
South.
like, "Have you ever been there?" And I'm like, "Bean is not a thing Americans say." Good night.
Yeah.
Oh no, she.
And he's supposed to be from like Minnesota or like the Midwest or something. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, when voice acting is
That's a
bad,
hard
when voice
accent.
accents are bad, it's bad. What's great is that when it's good, it's really good.
But
Like I was watching stuff about The
he-
Wire,
he
and there were like a
Jonathan
million different
Myers,
British.
We found out. Sorry, what?
No, I was gonna say I was watching a thing about The Wire, the voice acting they did on the voice accents they did on The Wire, and it's like they're all doing a Baltimore, specifically Baltimore accent, and it's good. And half of them are British,
Yeah.
and it's extremely impressive.
Yeah, because that's a really hard accent, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Baltimore is.
I can't do that. I can't do Baltimore, and I'm an American.
Yeah.
You guys put ooze in there. Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Kids,
I
I'm
gotta
gonna
go
go
too.
eat some food because you people are talking about sandwiches.
Are you getting tacos or are you getting brisket?
I don't think I can get brisket at this
¿Qué
house.
no las dos?
You can get
What
brisket.
happened?
Biscuit tacos.
Which one? Which is Cantor's is open like 24 hours, so they could probably deliver to you.
Cantor's still open? I
Yeah.
thought they closed.
No, they were.
Oh well. Oh. Well, if I get Cantor's, I have to get that fucking soup that's got like it's matzo ball soup and chicken rice soup and chicken noodle soup like all together.
Yes.
Matzo noodle rice soup.
Yeah.
Isn't that just called a? It's a carb stew.
It's
Like,
very
what-
carby.
And the bowl is like this fucking big.
Does it have liquid in it, or is it just
A
a pile
All
of
the
carbs?
starches.
Tiny bit.
All the
Little bit of
starches
liquid.
and a little
Tiny
chicken.
bit of liquid.
It's so wonderful.
Good night.
See
I
you.
love you guys.
Good night,
Thank you.
everybody. That was super fun. Thank you
That
for
was
Thank
super
you.
fun. You
letting me
guys
do
were
it.
great.
You
That
next
was really,
time,
really
wonderful-
great.
Wonderful people.